Hey.
Welcome to another live stream here. Today's Tuesday, about 10 a.m. Pacific time in the morning, and it's time. We got a co host for today, Amar Talwar. How are you, dude?
Doing great. How are
Good.
you?
Good. And our featured guest of the morning here, Canada's Nikon Ambassador, Tzara Maud. How are
Yeah,
you?
you did it right.
It's good to have you back. It's been about 14 months since we last did one of these with you.
You're right.
Yeah, I just started doing these again. I took a little break, but it's good to be back. Hi. So how's everything going, Zara?
Actually, pretty well. I'm in vacation right now. Like it has been 2 days. I'm in vacation, but I did an exception for you, and
Ah,
so I was happy to talk to you again. It has been so much. It was so fun last time, and actually everything is pretty well. Going well. I think I'm on vacation, so but I'm still having my unstoppable Nikon T-shirt and my and my cup. And you guys, are you doing? Are you doing?
doing good, doing good. Taking every
She's
day.
getting the accent down, man.
Yeah,
What?
She's getting the accent down. Look at that.
yeah.
I
So
like it.
we're taking day by day. Photography is a lot of what I do in my life, but as far as my career, like job goes too. But this YouTube thing, I do too. So, and Amar, I mean, you see him behind him. He has all these gears. So,
You have a lot of gear, more than I do.
They're fake toys. They-
Yeah, because I don't recognize Nikon behind your back.
It's there.
Where do you shoot with?
It's predominantly Canon, Sony, but I do have a couple of Nikon things. I used to shoot Nikon in the day all the way up to the F3, and then went down the Canon path and never turned back until the ZF came out.
Yeah,
Um, and that camera brought back very fond memories of what Nikon is all about, and it had a special moment. So had to have one of those. So
yeah.
it's there.
Well, yeah, and Nikon really upgraded. I think a lot with the mirrorless. With even the
Yeah,
first mirrorless, they were the first one to invent the. Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
so we got a couple of people in the chat already. Michael Malo, what's going
yeah.
on?
Michael Malo, my friend that we've met last time we did the live streaming, as you
Yeah.
know, and we talked since. And he was telling me today that he wanted to be with him, the live with us. I mean, and I said like, come in, and he said like, no, I'll let you suffer alone. I'll check it.
So he's already got the French thing going on the
Yeah,
chat. So you're gonna have to translate. But anyway,
he said hi, Zam. He says can't wait to hear about the Z6III. He's from Montreal. He was there the last time too. I think he
uh,
follows you.
yeah, no. Yeah, we talk. So what's new with you? How's photography treating you? How's life treating you?
Awful, my friend. It's disgusting. Like, no, it's a joke. Actually, it's pretty good. I'm doing an exhibition in November. Have a fine art print collection that's going out in November in the art gallery in Montreal, which is
Hmm.
something big coming on for me from its one big project that I have, and I have a big contract that makes me feel a little bit nervous in August, and on cycling contract, which I will have to do a lot of cycling in the place.
Cycling.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
photography, like cycling photography. I don't know how you call these guys in English, but in French it's cyclotourism. So it's tourism and cyclism. But you go
Hmm.
place to place, you sleep at different places at nights, and so I will have to do like 350 kilometers of cycling and photography, and it's going to be a big contract on 4 days.
That's
And
cool.
Awesome.
yeah, it's a really cool contract. It's just that I'm not a real cyclist, like I'm more like someone who does cycling for fun and ride around
Hmm.
like 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers, but now it's around like 70 kilometers per day for 4 days. And it's not like, you know,
I've seen your Instagram. I've seen your Instagram post with you cycling.
Yeah, that's what
That's
happens.
cool.
That's what happened when you show off. You get contract and you're not sure to do. But anyway,
So,
no,
are you shooting the actual cyclist, like a kind of like a sports event? Or are you shooting the product?
no, there's no products. It's a lake.
Oh,
Actually, I'm doing
oh,
on 4 days. I'm going to go in different cities around the lake, and I have to shoot like the landscapes, the people around there that are living there. It's more like a tourism guide that I'm doing. Like to make people want to go there and to live the experience and to go in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, do the La Route des Bleuets, which is the name of the circuit that I will do. And so that's all about this. I'm going to show what it is to live this experience in photography. Maybe in
that's
video
nice.
too, but with my cell phone. Because it's
Mm.
something to put a lot of camera on a bike, and I have to think about this.
Oh, wow! You're taking the actual bike too.
Yeah, I'm on the bike.
You're on the bike.
I'm on the bike for 350 kilometers. I'm going to have to cycle for 350 kilometers. So it's 70 kilometers, 70 kilometers or miles. I forgot to talk. You talk about you're in miles.
That's okay.
But it's a lot of miles per day.
Right.
It's really sporty for me. It is for other people. It's not, but for me it is.
So no Z9, nothing like that.
I'll bring the Z8 and I'll bring the Z6II because I didn't have the Z6III yet. So I'll bring the Z6II in backup, but I have to travel light. So I'll try out.
Right.
Even the computer, I'm not sure I'll bring it. Maybe because with SnapBridge,
Wow.
well, with SnapBridge now you can do a lot of things. I worked in France only with SnapBridge and my Z6. Z6II, I mean, not two. And just put it on my work on SnapBridge and send it to the client that way.
Nice.
So even now, I'm not, that I don't retouch my pictures that much. So
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, man, I really like your portrait photography. We're gonna talk about that because I'd like to talk to other creatives that actually shoot portraits, or how they like to go about doing things. Because I know how I do it,
yeah.
but I'd like to get your feedback on how you do it. That's totally cool. I mean, wow, that's awesome. Have you?
It's going to be totally different. I come from photojournalism, so I'm used to do not only portraits, but a lot of things like photojournalism. You do politics.
Photojournalism.
Yeah, journalism. Sorry. And
No, I understood.
So I don't do only portraits. I can do everything. And when I do conferences, I tell people like say yes to everything and stress after. Like do whatever. Even if it's scared, go there.
That's good.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Have you tried any new lenses lately?
Actually, the Plena 1.8, I think. Yeah, 135. Yeah, it's a 135 millimeters. And yeah, I tried it on the Z6III in Montreal. Z6III launching in Montreal. I tried it as I was the official photographer, and so I tried it with the Plena. It's amazing. I loved it. I was like, okay, I will have to do a choice between the Z6III or the Plena.
So, well, other than like focal length, the 135 Plena versus an 85 1.2, right? For portraits, other than like, okay, you're closer to the subject with the 135. If I were to ask you right now, I'm a buyer of, I want to buy one of these two, okay, and I shoot portraits. What lens would you actually recommend me getting first?
Between the Plena and the 85 millimeters and 1.2?
Do
you have the 85 millimeters and 1.8?
Or let's say I don't.
Well, you do, right?
I did, but I have the 1.2. But if somebody asks you,
Tzara, I understand, but I would ask what lens do you have first?
I have the 7200.
Okay.
But I want a faster lens. Which one would you recommend for portraits?
I have the 85 1.8 that I love.
Mhm.
I had a really big crush on it for like 1 year, and but it's new. I would have the 135 millimeters. It's really a nice lens. Just the way the flare goes back in the lens when you shoot backlight, and there's the flare it goes in. I like the quality. It's so much. The 1.2 is amazing too, but
Too
I,
big?
I think I prefer for portraits when you have like more like you're more in teleobjective, like in a zoom. Like I prefer like when it's 200, shoot at 200 millimeters or 300 sometimes. Man, I think it puts like people look thinner a little bit more. They're more sharp. The background is more soft. Like so. I think I prefer big lenses, like big millimeters. So I would go with the 135 more than the 85.
Mhm.
Well, that's those are my artistic choice because both lenses are amazing. But for me, I think there's more like I love the bokeh of the 135 more than the 80. Even if it's 1.2,
Right.
which is amazing. I like the the lens.
It's the compression. It's the lens compression that
Yeah,
gets you that an 85 can never deliver. And typically when I have 85, 135, both of them in my bag, 9 times out of 10, that 135 comes out first. 85 is like a last resort. Yeah, it's nice, and everyone talks about you got to have an 85 if you're a wedding photographer. No, you don't. But
Nope.
but that's what they push, right? So unless you have really mastered the art, again, I'm talking about art now. I'm not talking about technical mumbo jumbo on a spec sheet. The look of an 85 and the look of a 135 are not the same, and they never will be the same. And if you're shooting a model, women usually, and again, I'm speaking from shooting fashion runway and things like that, they will 9 times out of 10 put their fingers on that 135 shot because they just love the way it looks and they can't explain why.
Well, it's normal because it makes people feel as I said, the way the lenses are made is
It just
like,
looks more beautiful. It just is
yeah,
more beautiful, more flattering for shooting people.
exactly.
I mean, that's just what I find.
I think the same thing as I said earlier. You did resume really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, should answer your question.
Yeah.
But that's funny. Wait, that's funny because I used the 25 1.8 like for 1.5 years. I was in love with it. It was all new. I was like, and I went back to the 200 millimeters 2.8 just for portraits. I went back to that because I love that. Naturally, I don't ask myself so much question about technical questions. I'm more into feelings and what I see and what I like. And I went natural back to 200 millimeters.
You talking about the 7200 versus zoom? Yeah, it's versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's more for the length, the compression.
Yeah. The compression.
And Michael does have a good point, right? So a 135, again, what I mentioned like a couple minutes ago, it's an art to master the 135. If you don't have the space, how do you create that same level of beauty? And that's what I've been stressing with Vahagan for so many years now. It's like and he does this too, and this is, most people don't understand. Companies and marketing, they want to sell you gear.
Mhm.
They cannot sell you the art of photography. That has to come from you.
Mhm.
And how do you apply these tools? So even if I don't have space, I will find a way to make that 135 work.
Exactly.
Why? Because I know I got a winning shot there versus something that I'm going to be like, I just wish I would have taken a little bit more time and shot it with the 135. So that's where the difference between someone that makes a photo versus someone that takes a photo. They're two very different things.
Well,
I don't know. Do you agree, Tzara, there?
I totally agree. I was about to say there's a quote in French. I'll try to traduce this in English that says like, it's not the oven that makes the cake, it's the baker. So it's the same thing, when you start as a photographer, sometimes you only have one lens and one camera because you don't have money to buy it, and you have to manage how you do your portraits, your shots with one lens. you try to get the best lens, like the best options of fields that you can get in one lens, and you get to you know, photography is about compromise and sacrifices. So you're going around there, and so when you're able to buy a lens as amazing lens as the 135, you're used to get along with getting the work done with what you have in hand, you know. So I totally agree with you. I don't think it's not as people think it's easy to be a photographer, and they don't realize that even when they take a picture with their cell phone, they have different angles by themselves. You know, there's different angles in the cell phone, but they don't realize that the picture is photoshopped inside the camera, the cell phone. They don't realize all what is done in one picture and one cellular. You know, there's a lot of work done in the cell phone. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like, yeah, well, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of practice, there's a lot of mistakes that has been done, there's a lot of experiences behind this. So yeah, I think with one lens, you got to get good with it. You're good with it anyway.
Did you got rid of all your DSLR, or you still have DSLR?
I have one left because it's my it's more like emotional feeling. It's my D4.
Nice.
And yeah, I have it. It's just there. And you know, we never know in life what happens. And so I kept it just to say, like, hey, we never know. You know, it's
But
like sometimes
you know when you hold it
yeah.
and you shoot with it, it's a machine.
Yeah, but what's funny is that, did you try back at these SLR when while you're like, it has been like 3 years I'm working with a mirror, 4 years I'm working with a mirrorless now, and I get to just put my eyes back in the D4 because, and I was like, I was taking pictures with like, first it's really dark inside, you're like, oh my God, but I still love the fact that you're seeing reality directly. You're not seeing like a screen. I like the fact that you don't see a screen, but I got used to the screen, and it's really like live in front of you with the screen in the mirrorless. But I love the fact that the SLR, it's something, I think it's because I started with the SLR, but I have like an emotional thing with the SLR, but I totally love mirrorless. So
Don't sell it. Always keep it.
Yeah.
Because when I switch, and I still shoot both, but when I switch, it's like, man, I kind of miss it. I don't miss the fact that you're limited in focus points. You know, edge to edge.
But I was talking with colleagues earlier last week, not like maybe 1 month ago. Oh, wait a moment, there's someone at the door. Sorry, you know.
It's a FedEx delivery. They're delivering the Z6III. Yeah, guys. Man, she's fun. I love it. I love it. You know, it's good to talk to people like this, you know, to get inspired.
Yeah, the inspiring part is she's actually a fine art photographer. She's not, just trying to wing it.
Sorry, guys, it's a fire tester, actually.
Oh, no problem.
So if ever it rings or whatever, it's not, I'm not in fire. But we'll try to.
No
so
problem.
what I was saying is that you know, like we used to use a GPS a lot sometimes, and you're using GPS like for like 10 years now, and you realize that you don't get to remember the roads anymore. You don't get to see really. You only follow your GPS, and it's the same thing with the autofocus. And you know, I was wondering, do you lose your capability or ability to point and shoot fast with all that autofocus on mirrorless? You know,
it's funny that you said that, because yesterday I posted 5 images on Facebook without telling people what it is, with the 1D, which was introduced in 2001. It's 4 megapixels.
Okay.
And I shot these shots, and people were like stunned. Look at that color. Look at that shot. And then when I told them what it was, they're like, "You're lying." I'm like, "I'm not." So, you know, you're absolutely correct. Even though it had 45 AF points, we used to make things, the difference between making and taking a photo.
Yeah.
We used to make photos with one single autofocus point. So when you have 6,000 of them in there, fine, that's really nice, that's great. Give me one that really works, which is cross type. And this is one thing that I wanted to really talk about, because you held on to your D4. The D4 is one of the most remarkable machines that Nikon's ever produced. It was one of the best professional DSLRs they made, even better than D5, D6. They're newer, but there was something special about the D4. It had the Toshiba sensor in there. It was 16 megapixels. It was incredible. I still remember when I bought my Canon 1D Mark IV, because they were neck to neck. And it was a very hard thing. Do I move to Nikon? Do I move to Nikon or not? And I didn't, but that camera still resonates in my mind. The image quality out of that Nikon D4, again, this is my opinion, and I might be wrong, is better than the Z9 today. The colors, the way things look, if you really look at it side by side, and look at the palettes, right, of the colors. Because if you look at the Nikon mirrorless, it's changed a lot over the years compared to the photos that I actually see a lot when I use from the DSLRs over.
That's funny because the skin tones changed. Because
the skin tones correctly changed.
The skin tones were not as good as before with the DSLR. I know I had more trouble with the skin tone. Not that much, but more trouble with the skin tone than other camera, like, to be totally honest. Now I don't have it anymore. And by the way, what I love of the mirrorless is that you can get those colors back if you want to. You can make it, like I change my color settings in my cameras because I don't like some way or things. I have my own way of seeing them. So I change my colors sometimes in my cameras too. So that's a good point that maybe you could try. But I think it's more like I was more worried about the fact that before the autofocus, not the autofocus, but the point and shoot that you have on the mirrorless, it's like the eye detection. I mean, like everything, you have the eye. It's amazing. Okay, it's really, it helps. But I'm more just constantly. I'm just wondering something. I may try back the DSLR just to not lose the way I was fast to point to point and shoot. Just
it forces you to become more engaged, right? Because today the technology in these cameras is doing really all the work. You're not finding that eyeball. It's already found the eyeball before you can even see it.
Yeah, but you still try to compose, man. You still gotta set up the light.
I got that, but again, the 90% of the decision making of that AF point and that exposure onto the eye is done for you. On a DSLR, you would have to make that decision. Do I have that eye correctly exposed? Yes, it's going to be sharp because I got the point. Today's autofocus and AEAF, that combination that happens so fast today and across like 6,000 points that a human brain can't even think that fast to make that decision. It's already made for you. So it's pretty remarkable where we've come.
For sports shooters, for wildlife.
This is amazing for sports shooters. But
absolutely.
Even sports shooters, and like you have how do you call this? The
pre-capture.
Pre-capture. It's like, wow. If I had this when I was shooting sport, hockey, soccer, whatever, I would like be like, oh my God, I remember shots I wouldn't have missed. Okay. It's like,
and you know what the best part, Tzara, now, what's happening on the runway, right? In fashion. When they're running down the stride, they're doing the final stride down the runway. Pre-capture is being used today because there is that one moment when that leg, the back leg, is up exactly to how far you want it to go, and that's what that brand or that ambassador of that brand is looking for. And you would have missed that shot without something like a pre-capture. So it's not just for sports and wildlife; it's actually coming into the mainstream fashion industry. Exactly. So it's a very powerful tool.
It's a new tool, actually. It's a new tool we didn't get before. So this is, like there's good and there's not good. So
honestly, though, like when I'm at an assignment and I'm being paid for the photography that I do, I just like to go back to what I'm used to. And all these settings and all these features these new cameras have, I just resort back to manual, single,
Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I don't use those two neither. I use the same thing except for the eye detection. I use it because
Yeah.
it's practical
Yeah.
and I have to go fast, and then maybe I'm lazy sometimes. But I mean, like, I don't use Portraiture. I do
Yeah.
not.
Don't
I
use
use
it.
anyway. We even on DSLR we had like so many functions we didn't never
Yeah.
use either. So it doesn't change anything. It's just the
Well,
tools changes.
I don't use it. Maybe you use it half the time or whatever, but other people might use it all the time.
Yeah,
So
of course.
that's
Right.
great.
Right.
Champagne Sumo has a question. What camera is in your opinion, is
Mhm.
best for landscapes? Z6III, Z8, or Z9?
I think that if you're doing only landscape, I think you could totally go with the Z6III as it's less heavy and it goes, look, the shutter point is perfect and it's really good in low light too now, better than the Z6 II. So I would totally go with the Z6III because of the oh man, I have a blank in English
The
the
weight?
weight. Thank you. Especially for the weight, I would go on the Z6 III.
That
Z8, yeah.
but the Z7 II is great for
That's right.
the megapixels, the
Yeah.
detail.
Well, this is it. Do you need to? Yeah, exactly. The Z7 II. I'm not used to say in English. The Z7 II is good too, but it depends what you do it with. If it's like, do you need a lot of
Deep.
pixels to do a big picture with it, like to print a big print with it, or depends if you
So
want to.
I think the big thing with landscapes is you don't have too many moving subjects, right? I mean, you have some, right? Trees will move.
Well,
To
depends.
have the highest, again, I don't want to bring up this topic because it's a sore subject and a lot of people get all upset. The Z7 II has incredible dynamic range. And honestly, you do not need a stack sensor for landscape photography.
Mhm.
You do not. It's designed for sports and wildlife type of thing, high speed shooting. That's not really necessary to shoot a landscape. I mean, the landscape isn't going to, move at 120 frames per second. It's not happening. So, I think you're definitely onto something there. Yes, you can use the newer, greater technologies, but honestly, the final image that you're going to yield out of that Z7 II is going to be far more superior than anything that the Z6 III can produce, bar none. It's
I
just
mean,
bound to be. It's a great camera.
for weight purpose and size, I mean, yeah, the Z6III is going to be smaller for megapixels and
Sure,
features. I think the Z8,
sure.
Z9.
But how much heavier is the Z7 II? It didn't have the integrated grip, right? It was you could buy it
No,
optional,
no,
right?
they don't. No, no.
I'm gonna.
Is it that much heavier, Mohammed?
What? Which cameras?
The Z7 II, is it really that much heavier than the Z6 III?
Z7 II, Z6
It's not that big, but I mean, it's not a big, but for the size, the weight is something different. When you compare, wait, I got my chair. When you
Or
compare
even the Z8?
the
But yeah,
Z2 of the Z8, there's totally a
very
difference.
similar.
It's similar, but there's a little difference. This one is really less heavier, and
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's you can put different camera like lenses on it, of course, but I
Sure.
know that personally, I'll go with the Z6 II or Z6 III for landscape personally.
So
Because
I'll probably do like a tiebreaker here, right? So Champagne, I assume if you're shooting landscapes, you probably have um, a pretty nice tripod to put it on, right? And you're not relying on just IBIS. And some people do, but most serious landscape photographers, just like a wildlife photographer, will have like a gimbal mounted onto their 600 f4 or whatever. I assume you're doing that. So if you're doing that, then maybe the weight is not an issue. But if you're walking around with it for 4 hours a day, trying to shoot every single thing, yeah, then you have a valid point, Zara, because then yeah, every ounce is going to matter.
yeah, well, I'm thinking about Victoria Hack, which is a Nikon ambassador in Canada too, that does really amazing landscape pictures. And I think I'm not sure what I'm going to say, but I think she's using a Z6 II or Z7, sorry, Z7 II. I think because it's light, it's more light than the Z9. Okay, so
Sure,
and
sure,
she's walking a lot in the mountains, and so
exactly.
I
You got
think
it.
yeah, but Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
he's got a tripod. There you go. There you go.
And she
You
has a
just
tripod.
answered it.
I hate tripods for
But it's a landscape photographer's best friend. You know, it really is. You know,
but I need to get another one here lighter too, because mine
get
got
a
I bought it.
Gitzo this time. Get a Gitzo and you'll buy it forever, man. Tzara, you'll never buy another tripod again.
I
I bought so many cheap ones. I've tried so many brands.
Gitzo.
What's that funny one that that everyone tries to sell you? It's not Black Rapid, but it's the other one, Peak
Git
Design. You know, get that.
Gitzo.
I'm like, I start laughing. It's like get a Gitzo and call it a day. You know, yes, you'll pay $1,500, but you know, even today when I send something back to Gitzo, no problem, we'll take care of it.
But you
And I've
can
had
buy
it
one
for
used.
15 years.
You can buy one used
Oh
for a
yeah,
fraction of the price. So
really? How
Gitzo,
much are they used? I don't even know. I
depending on the
bought mine a
model,
long time ago.
carbon fiber, nice light tripod. I mean, $400-500. I mean,
That's funny.
Because the one that I have like auto adjusts because of wildlife stuff. So you can literally just yank it off and just adjust level no matter what terrain you're on. Because if you're on the rocks, the camera still stays flat. But yeah, it can be a friend. But you're right. If it's carbon fiber, like the one that I have out there,
Hey,
they're
guess what?
so light,
You know
Tzara,
what?
nowadays.
Yeah, I believe it. You know what? I bought that tripod like when I started as a photographer. It's a Manfrotto, okay?
Uh-huh.
And he's
Uh-huh.
like heavy, okay? And the worst thing is that I never wanted to buy or update. And I hate tripods so much that the last time and the only time I've used it in the past, 10 years was for the
Yeah.
eclipse, the total eclipse that
Oh,
happened back
okay.
here, like in April. I use it
Uh-huh.
and I realized that I still have like the head of the tripod is like the camera. I was shooting the eclipse and the camera was slowly doing this, as each time I had to put it back on my head.
You need a new tripod, my friend.
man,
I never, landscape photography for me is just when I go on a trip, and I'm not a real photographer in landscape.
No, I'm just pulling your leg, but seriously, yeah, good tripod is a good tripod. There's no substitute for it.
Mm-hmm.
And Champagne, you're laughing, so I'm glad you're getting a kick out of this.
Yeah, there's so if you would see me work, you would be like, oh my god, what the hell is she doing? Okay, because I look like a mess each time when I do work. My clients sometimes they know me, they're like, where are we going with that? And it takes me like, I look like a mess, but I know exactly what I'm doing. It's just that I'm used to do things and not as like, I'm not a technical photographer. I'm a having fun photographer, It's okay. I'm bringing clients. Sometimes my clients are my assistants, for shooting. And I'm not I don't want to shoot big, as I said in one of my conferences, like I want to get clients or people to work with that have the same kind of energy that I do or are attracted by my energy and things like this. So I'm going to be myself all the way so I can attract people that have the same kind of things. And I realized that I didn't want to work that much in publicity or like big shooting where there's a lot of stress and everyone is getting to tell you what you have to do. And I realized that I was feeling more like someone used than someone that is trusted in his own eyes. So
you like doing things your way,
Yeah, but my way. Yeah, but you need to communicate too with the client and everything. But I think when people get to meet you and see you or call you to get you to do a job, they like your eye, they like your creativity, they like who you are, they like what you're capable of doing. And I think it's more like they're trusting your eye and your creativity. So if you're not yourself or you're a people pleaser, you want to do what the client wants you to do, that's where that's not going to work. You need to stay focused on your things, but you need to hear, okay, let's say that you, Vahan, you want to have like a nice portrait of you, but you want to look younger, thinner, and you want to see your eyes a little bit through your sunglasses, but not that much, and you want a good light. And you're telling me, like, I'm just gonna say, what vibe do you really want to show in that picture? What do you want, like, when you see this picture? What do you want people to feel about you? You want to see like, oh, great guy, confidence, blah blah. Yeah, okay, but what else? And then after we're working and we're talking about with the people, And that's just what you can do with big gigs. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm not doing that much big gigs, because I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Can I
get
ask
it.
you a personal question,
No,
Tzara? Because
no, no
I've
question.
looked at well, it's personal, meaning it's a deep thought. It's not just,
I don't
you
have questions.
know, this gear, that gear type of thing. Just forget the gear for a second. Let's just talk about who Tzara is, right? You touched on something that, you know, I think we were talking about in the green room earlier. Creativity, right? Nowadays, it's far and few in between, right? Everyone is either copying someone else,
Mhm.
originality. So looking at your work, you know, I've been looking at it for almost a week now since Rohan sent me the link.
Okay.
What is the fascination that you have that made you create the photos or make the photos the way you did with these horses?
Which the horses I have behind me, like those
And
kind.
also on your site, yeah.
Um. Okay, I'll start with the beginning. I think as a photographer, I use photography as a tool to make life an adventure, and I use it because I want to make. For me, I wanted to be Indiana Jones in my life. You know, I want to live everything. So for me, photography is a tool to go live everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I love to make to show beauty in life, because there's so many people and so many things that are going bad, and we're all
Mm-hmm.
people are always talking about what's awful, what's not good. And I think it's a really big bad feeling that I wish,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I wish we could just show more beauty and talk about more good things instead of bad things. So
Sure.
so what happens is that with that, actually, I was sick of doing red carpets. And I was in the country where I live right now, Bourbon, which is a place where there's a lot of mountains, a lot of for you it's small mountains, but for us it's mountains. And so there's a lot of like cycling bike. It's a nice place to bike, and it's a nice, and there's horses there. And that day I was like feeling, it was winter, and I was feeling a little bit like, I don't know, I was not feeling in a good mood, and I was like a little bit tired of red carpet. You know what, as an artist, sometimes you have like to you put everything in question, and then after you get back on track. So I wasn't that
Mm-hmm.
kind of day happens, and I just went for a walk with my cameras, and I met a horse that when I saw it, I stopped, and I went to see the horse. And when he saw me, I was feeling so weird. He just looked at me and split on me, you know, like, was like, you did that, and he was like, so I was like, what the hell? Then I get like, and he started to say like I don't know how to say it. It's like he talked to me, but not to
Mm-hmm.
sounds
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Sure.
But he
Sure.
told me like he sounds like he told me like, hey, relax, girl, you know, like, and he went for a tour and went for another one, and then he,
Came back.
you know what, I started to calm myself and talk to not talk, but, and
Yeah.
then just approach a little bit the horse, and then I was able to
Pet.
yeah.
So that is what I am interested in. I don't care about the gear you shoot,
I
because you
don't
know
care
what?
either.
You could have shot that with a cell phone. It's you that actually made that photo, and that's what I've been trying to harp on for the last 10 years on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because 90% of the people that are on YouTube, they just talk. They don't produce anything worth looking at. They're so worried about the specs all day long, but they can't produce anything that someone looks at it and says, that right there moves some kind of emotion inside of me,
But
creates a feeling inside of me.
we could be really good friends, because I'm trying for 10 years to tell people what's the difference between a good picture and amazing pictures. And sometimes,
Yep.
as I said, the thing I have with, you know what, I think that we need every kind of photographer, because I'm really not good with, actually I know my technique, but I'm not capable of telling you like every details of the camera, you know, like I don't care actually.
And
It's
those
just,
are
Technically,
usually
yeah.
the most those people that are like yourself are usually the ones that produce that, what I call create your magic. they create the magic that sparks in people, that moves and, you know, changes people's lives.
I'm going to explain to you what you call magic for me, okay? Magic
Okay,
for me is the difference between someone who is really technical, is that it's what I explain in my conferences when I do them. It's like the difference between a good picture and the magic picture, let's say. It's because when it's too technical, there's no soul in the picture.
That's right.
The photographer is about technical. And it's okay, it's another style. You know, I'm not judging this. It's just like for me, in my taste, I rather like something that it's not perfect, you know, and but has a lot of emotions in, or shows some things that you're not used to see. Okay, or things like this. And for me, it's more important. For those horses that I said, like, there's no retouch on it. You know, it's just like black and white. And the white here is just a reflection of the snow in the eyes. So, and the background is mountains. It's not a backdrop, a white backdrop. It's just mountains. So I use the nature to do a studio photography shot. You know, kind of. But
you said you don't edit that much, right?
No, I don't edit that much. No, I don't retouch. I don't change things. I don't. It's really natural. Like the how do you say this? The exhibit that I'm going to do in November. That is in the art gallery. Like I'll try to show you here. Wait a moment. It's on Flamingos.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, wait. Sorry. I'm trying to. Yeah, because cameras, you know, here.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay,
that's your Instagram. So I'll put the links are in the description, by the way, guys. If you want to
and well, there's no retouch on it. Okay, and the thing is, it's like when I see girls that put like they do their how do you call this in English? The eyebrows. That, you know, the guys, I don't see you anymore. I want to see your face when I talk. Like, they do like the eyebrows. Okay, they do it so perfectly that it sounds fake. I don't know how, you know, like I always said, like,
it's like a line.
Yeah, it's too perfect. Even when you get too perfect in this aesthetic, sorry for my pronunciation.
No, you're fine.
I think when it's too perfect, it's not natural. It doesn't look like natural. So I'm for little mistakes in pictures. I'm not for top quality pictures.
I'll share one thing with you, right? Because you're hitting on something. So, you know, you obviously have projects. You have paid clients that are willing to pay for your work, right? I'm the same way. So is Vahagan. Right? we're not just someone. People actually pay us for what we do, right? For them, and you'll be shocked. You know, Tzara. Lately, well, not lately. Last at least 5 to 10 years. The biggest thing that has almost become like a second arm of my 247 Media Group business has been wedding redos. And what I mean by that is a lot of the brides, I didn't look like that on my wedding day. That's not me. I don't know who that is. So they can't explain to you what it is. So we get so hung up on buying the sharpest lens and sharpest this. Women are not, they could care less about how sharp your lens is. They want beauty and they want to look nice, right? And if you can't do that, then you as an artist have failed and you just become another gear junkie that just shot their wedding and actually maybe even ruined that day for them. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
What I do is counterproductive, maybe, or it's not going with the flow. Because as I said, I'm not photoshopping that much. You know, I don't want to change people. What I'm trying to do is to show women, especially women, because they're more difficult. We're bad judges for ourselves. Okay, we're really hard on ourselves. But I mean, like, what I'm trying to do is when I show my picture on my camera to my client, okay, and says, "Oh my God, I'm beautiful on it." It's not necessarily because of the lens. It's more because of the light. And what I've seen a lot is that women calls me the more like they talk, you know, like, "Oh my God, you should try her. I was perfect." On the camera, they had no retouch to do. They were like, and I work with people that are not, as I said, I think women that want to work with me has this opening and this lightning inside her and inside them, and they're not. Sometimes they feel bad about themselves, but they want
Right.
to see themselves another way. And I managed to see that there's so many people right now, women, that are using filters on themselves. They are
Right.
using like to look better. They even try to change their face as their filter
Yeah.
on. Okay,
Yeah.
what I've managed to see is that it creates more anxiety than acceptation from ourselves.
Agreed. Agreed.
So I'm trying. It's counterproductive because every people saying, "Oh, Photoshop me this." No, we're trying to. Okay, if ever I don't succeed, I'll have a Photoshop. Okay, but I'll try. I won't say that, but I will try to prove to the client, to the girl or the man, that he's or she is pretty the way she
Hmm.
is, with the light, with, and you know, and of course the editing. You know, we all look weird on some shots because we talk. Like when I
Sure.
talk, I have my I see myself and sometimes I'm, oh my god, I look disgusted, you know, which is not
Yeah.
what I am. But I mean, like, so you know, we all have bloopers, you know.
Let me
So
ask you. Let me ask you something. When it comes to that, when you're shooting with clients, they call you. For me, it's like okay, half of it is the photographs, but half of it is the experience. Like they like working with me because you know, I'm fun. you know, and then probably the same way with you because if I was a client and I'm calling Zara to take my pictures, I would probably like the experience that you offer too. It's not only about the photographs and the detail aspects and the technical things, you know,
I
that you
think
do.
when you have the technique, you have, and of course you get experience with time. You know, it's what people pay for. You know, it's not for like, if I hadn't had the experience, you wouldn't pay for me for anyway. That's so sorry, I said that in English and French, but I mean, like, it's yeah, it's for the experience and it's for the person too. You know, we're not robots. We're artists. Even if people are just technic, I think they're artists too because they love something about the camera. You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
they love to try it. They love to do it, and they do it their ways. That's why I'm not judging. I'm not judging or saying that it's bad to be a technical photographer. Just for me,
Yeah.
my taste, I love when there's more emotions. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Exactly.
even if the picture's a little bit blurred, I don't mind putting it on Instagram and showing it because I think it's the emotion, what it gives to the people
Yeah.
that watch it, that is more important than the. But this is a philosophy. That's my philosophy, which I had actually a good exercise. I did a actually good exercise last year on Facebook. I asked a question. I did a bird that was flying away. Okay, and everything the branch it was going out was not sharp. Okay, it was a little bit blurred and it was not the light. And I look at the picture, but the picture was like, I like it. There's
Hmm.
something like the wings were doing like, you know, like
The
second
motion. You
sound
captured the
with
motion.
motions, but there was
Yeah.
something with the wings that there was like those white lines that was like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like, and it was like, I like it. So I posted on Facebook and asked people, is it a is it good or is it like bad? Is it like something you could say, yeah, it's a nice photography, or is it like
Yeah.
throw it in the garbage, you know? And it was really surprising how there was a lot of people saying, no, I like it. I really like it. I like what it feels. I like what, and there's other people that was like, nah, go to the trash. Nothing's good on it. That's perfect. It's not perfect.
Those are the technical people.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew it was, I myself, I was like, I can't post it. It's
Do you know?
technical.
Do you know? Do you know? There's a picture. A famous street photographer called. Her name was the one that got discovered. I forget her name. What was her name, Amar? The street photographer that got discovered in the after she died. Uh,
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah. 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 I know who you're
the
Vivian
talking about.
Mayer.
Yes.
Vivian Mayer.
street
Yes. Vivian
photographer is
Mayer.
trying to remember a
Yes.
name for me.
Vivian Mayer. She has this. Her one of
Yeah.
her most famous photographs. Is out of focus. Okay, the picture is out of literally out of focus, and this picture is one of her famous photographs. So to your point, it's not all about the technical aspects of things. Let me just tell you real quickly. In the music world, Okay, we have these drummers that are technically awesome. Okay, they know everything. They're fast. You know, they're technically great. They can play different time signatures and just technical, but they can't create music. They can't play with a band. They don't have that amazing music that we listen to, and it means something to us. Like when I put Pink Floyd on, I love that band. Rush, uh Led Zeppelin, right? When I hear that, it means something to me emotionally, right? But these technical musicians, all they are is technique, but they can't really play in a band. They can't create anything that's emotionally, great. Not all of them, but some of them. So same thing with photography.
I'll share one story in that light, right, Rahagan, for you. I had a client, shadow wedding, and I kind of screwed up, right? Because I was shooting her. Her father walks into the room while she's getting ready and whatnot. And then I had someone else like next to me, and they sort of got in the way, so I couldn't really get the shot, whatever. And I was photographing her with one set of settings, right? Because the lighting was set up. We're firing away doing our thing. This dude walks in. It's not like you have two separate cameras. Oh, hold on, let me get you.
Yeah.
So you do what you can. You turn around, you shoot it, and there's a mirror behind her father, which has her in it. The entire photograph is actually out of focus. All you can see is their silhouettes in this thing. And my wife literally, she goes through every single one of these pictures and says, this one's out, this one's out, this one's out. And I could remember I had screwed that up. And I said, well, where is that one that got, well, I took it out. I'm like, what do you mean you took it out? Yeah. So I'm like, where did you delete it from? She goes, Lightroom. I said, is it still on the drive or did you delete it from the drive? She goes, no, not from the drive, only Lightroom. I'm like, thank God. That was my screw up. I printed that photo 30 by 40. I paid to have it print out of focus. And I went to give her her book. I don't give albums, and Walmart photographers will give you albums. I create handmade books, out of a lab in California. So we handed the thing, and I said, we got something for you. It's just there. If you don't want it, I'll take it back. I give her this thing, and all of a sudden, tears start rolling out. It is the most beautiful thing that they have ever seen. We talk about all this technical mumbo jumbo. Clients are moved by emotions and feelings. So that moment of her dad and her is worth 10 times more than any of the photographs in her wedding. And off of that wedding, I probably have done another 15 weddings.
That's a good lesson, right?
Yeah.
It's a real story.
Yeah, it's a real story.
It is what it is.
Well, it's like music. It's like art. You get to have a feelings, but it's as well as for people that are really, 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 really into technique. Yeah. They will rather prefer a technical picture because they're talking this language. This is the language their brain are talking, and those are, you can see them in couples sometimes. You always have like the technical guy, let's say guy. I don't want to go into gender styles things, but anyway, where you have the technical guy or really straight thing, whatever, blah, blah. And you have the woman all over like crazy and emotional and everything. And she gets the non-emotional speaking guy, and he gets to say, oh my God, which is crazy, I'm just joking. But I mean, like, it's a language. It's a language of, I talk better in French than in English. I rather more understand French and English, but I mean,
right.
And it's easier. I have like more subtleties like this, but I mean, like, we talk emotions. They talk.
Can we do something really fun? I'd like to see this, right? Because again, this is going to prove the point that you're making and the point that I was making a couple minutes ago. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to try to explain it in French, right? For there are some folks that speak French.
Yeah, I
And
think
then say the same thing back in English after you say it in French, what that response is.
I'll
Because I
try.
want people to be able to see how powerful language is, right? And the emotions that you're actually carrying through, right?
It's different,
And how it comes across. Yeah, because unless you do this, human beings are so attracted by all this machinery nonsense, they forget that there's another human being to deal with. When you
Absolutely.
deal with a human being to a human being, all of this other stuff that's here, yeah, it's nice to have these toys. They mean nothing. They just become noise, right? So let me ask you the question. When you actually photograph, like your cover photo that's on your website, the one with the glass, and it's actually reflecting off. When you metered for that photo, right, to photograph it, to be able to get the colors right in the glass and the model, it's not a joke to do. It looks easy. It's not. Where did you meter and how did you do that? So say whatever the response is in French, and then say it in English for us.
I have to see it again.
Do you want to put up the photo? Do you want to put up the photo, Vahagan, the main one when you go to her?
I'll go afternoon on my website.
It's
What
this.
photo is this?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, okay. I'll have to say this in English after. Wait. Oh, actually, okay. En fait, à la base, c'est un vase qui est coloré. Et en fait, la lumière naturelle qui venait carrément d'une fenêtre au plafond et j'ai surexposé pour que ça soit légèrement trop blasté pour pas voir qu'il y avait des pores de peau et tout ça. Donc, ça crée beaucoup de contraste et j'ai simplement contrasté après. Mais à la base, c'est vraiment improvisé sur le terrain. Donc, j'ai juste pris le vase, je l'ai mis devant son visage, je l'ai placé, puis j'avais créé un lien de confiance avec la fille aussi, ce qui faisait qu'on était capable d'avoir du fun et de s'amuser. Mais cette photo-là est absolument pas retouchée. Donc, c'est vraiment juste improvisé sur le terrain avec ce que j'avais sous la main et en lumière naturelle.
Man, that was beautiful.
Can I try to explain?
That was beautiful. I don't even want to know what that you said.
Can I try to guess what you said?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
And then you can explain it. I'm probably going to be way off.
Oh, that's fun. Let's have fun.
I think you mentioned, right, that you actually used either a piece of glass or a vase or something to that effect. That was actually doing the curvature of her face and her cheekbones on both sides to balance. And the lights that are actually reflecting off of that to the cheek behind her as complementary to the other side, which you actually lit up probably with a softbox or other lights that were there, in a nutshell. Did you say something along those lines?
Okay, so what I said, it was absolutely a vase that I took because I was at her place actually, and there was a vase going there. And what I said is that I use that for improvise a lot with what I have around myself.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, there was a window in the roof, so I was able to. Actually, it's natural light. But I overexposed. I mean, surexposed. It's English, French. I overexposed a little bit, so it get really like lightly, and we don't see all the skin tones. And I only contrasted on Photoshop. But I totally improvised that picture. I created a good connection with her, and we were just having fun. And I said, I saw this. And I just asked her, I would be ready with the colors, and it wasn't a team that she's a singer. Actually, she wanted to be a singer, so it was like her kind of portfolio. I didn't say that in French though, but I was like she was a singer, and she had like ideas of really like she wanted heat in the pictures. She wanted to have like different type of dynamics. So I when I saw the vase, I said like, okay, let's try this. Let's put it that way, and we'll see what it does.
Very nicely done.
That's awesome.
But you were right actually on a lot of things you said in English though that it just didn't said except for the softbox and the it was.
Well, yeah. I mean the way the light was. You did an incredible job lighting that, right? So you probably metered right around the eyes and the cheek to really make sure that you can blow that out some to get that effect.
Yeah.
So that's really nicely done.
I forgot there's a reflector too. I think there was a reflector.
Oh, there is a reflector. Okay.
Her mom was I knew as I make everybody participate in my shooting, you know. So her mom was trying to keep the reflector as the good place while I was shooting. So that's it.
Man, this is
That's
you know,
awesome.
the funny thing is, well, first of all, Albert, thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Coffee fund is now open. Yeah, that famous line, the coffee fund is now open. No, but I appreciate that, Albert. But you know, the funny thing is, I titled this conversation Z6III, but I'm getting so much more out of this than just camera talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's not about only cameras, you know. Photography is all about like.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm interrupting yourself. I'm sorry about that.
No, what I'm saying is, like, yeah, the camera titles get you more clicks on YouTube, get you more views, but this is like the human element that you don't see
Yep.
with the gear, the technical megapixels and the frames per second. All that stuff is out the window. When you're dealing with
Right.
this kind of talk, this is like somebody said here in the comments. Who was it? Wayne? This is a mature conversation. Super great guest. It is. This is meaningful stuff. You know, this is what we don't really hear on YouTube in photography. It's all like, oh, cameras, camera. Yes, the cameras are great. We love what the brands are doing, and these are tools for us to use. But it's what we do with these that really means more to me. It's these meaningful conversations that I'm having with you guys that are like, man, this is inspiring me. So that's what we're missing in a lot of these channels these days. But I want to kind of bring that back, you know.
Well, I totally agree because there's a lot of, I think it's not only on like about photography, but a lot of things on YouTube. It's really like I saw someone like saying, yeah, deep conversation, blah blah blah. But the thing is, yeah, it's deep. But the thing I don't understand why we don't speak deep anymore. It's like, how come it's always stays like light level and everything? How come we cannot?
And the reason why, Tzara, yeah, you know why that is? Because we have lost how to communicate with another human being. We are all about typing on the phone, typing on the keyboard, but talking to another human being, now it's become like a burden. How do I do it? Oh my God, what is she going to think? What is she going to say? How is she going to react? Right? But when you're behind a keyboard, it's so easy. Oh, you suck, man. You know, you're awesome and this and that. They're hiding behind the keyboards and doing that. You know, and I told you I wasn't going to bring this up, but I just wanted people to know, as of this morning, I actually did shut my channel down after 10 years on YouTube. And it's because of the level of hate that exists. This is not what photography is about. I can't do this anymore. And to have someone like yourself here, it's a complete disrespect to you if people are going around badgering each other about gear. I could care less about your gear. Show me your photo. Your photo speaks for itself. So your own, you know, portfolio on your site, Tzara, it speaks volumes when you look at it, what you're about. That's why I'm actually asking you these questions. Why? Because it moves me as a human being. Well, cameras don't move me. You do.
Thanks.
Exactly.
Well, you talk emotional language. You talk deep too. You like what's deep, and I think I saw someone say you need to talk to someone's deep to have deep conversation. But if you don't talk deep to people that are not used to have deep conversation, how will they get to use that? I have a friend like this, you know, and more like about like, let's just talk fun things and blah blah blah. And I, you know, sometimes I'm about like, nah, let's get deep a little bit. And you know, I'm just a little bit sadistic, I think, on him sometimes. I'm like, so what? This type of song, what do you see? What do you feel when you hear it? And so like, I don't know. First respond to someone that doesn't want to get deep. I don't know. I don't think about it. And then after you go to, yeah, but now you think about it. So what do you feel? Because I love to ask a lot of questions because I love to know people. That's a good way to to know how to get to shoot them and forget their masks so they
Yeah,
can take off their mask. And
exactly.
my philosophy is, sorry, I'll finish
No, no,
soon.
no. Go ahead, please finish your thought.
My first philosophy is we all have a social mask. I have one too. We're not lying here, okay? But there's so many egos and scares about why people like behind a mask. People wear masks because they're afraid, okay, or they have false thinking about what should be a society and what people may think about them, and there's so many conventions and blah blah blah, and so they wear masks. But my philosophy is to say, hey, you know what, I'm for now, for 2 hours, 1 hour, I'm your best friend, okay? I'm gonna be your best friend. I'm not judging. You can tell me whatever you have. I'm like, sometimes I'm looking at myself like, oh my god, I think I just went out from a 2 hour shooting psychology thing. Like I went from like people. I had someone who started crying in front of me because he was telling me that his wife left him for his best friend and blah blah blah, and he didn't say this to anyone. In front of me, he started crying, and I did an amazing picture of him that he's looking at me, and you can see all the sadness in him. And so I sent him this picture. It's not the best picture I did from him, like for his work. I mean, but I sent that picture after. I say, see, this is what you're feeling. You should express it more, and you should and there's not only sadness in it. There's not hate, but there's hate. But I mean, it's okay, and it's okay. People look at this and say you're right because they don't want to see this on themselves too. So it's having a philosophy to show what's beautiful in the people, even if sometimes it's sad or it's not cool or eyes don't lie.
I'll give you a real story, right? So Vahagan, you know the event that I shot recently, right? You were on the phone with me at night when I got out of there. It was almost midnight. Then I called him. 9 o'clock his time, midnight my time. So we were talking, and at that event, it was this lady's 75th birthday, and prior to that, I had shot all of their grandkids, and she made it crystal clear to them: if you're going to hire a photographer, if he's not coming, I don't want any photographer there. He's the only guy. So they changed the date on when I was available to shoot it. It's funny, right? Because it's not because, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I've become part of their family now. It's a very different story. So, Indian women, I mean, they wear like the saris and like all these outfits, right? And on the bottom of the sari, so just imagine the bottom layer of that outfit, it was curved a little bit, and I'm sitting there going, Photoshop or no Photoshop, Photoshop or no Photoshop. What do? You got 10 people there. So I took a moment, right, and my son was there actually because he was actually helping with some of the stuff, and he's never seen me in this light because now he's 14, so he can actually start to see what's happening. So I walk over there and start fixing her outfit. So her husband, he's probably 80 now, right? Looks at it and I said, man, you're very lucky because you have a beautiful and a gorgeous wife. And he started smiling. And she came back after I took that shot. She goes, thanks for fixing that. Because I had so many pictures in the past where either my outfit's not right, this, that, and the other. And women will not share that photo with their other women friends because their outfit was not right. And the photographer did not spend that 2 minutes just to look at it and say, do they even look right? What am I photographing? I mean, is this like a crease here? Is it weird? Yeah, can I fix it later? It's not going to look the same. Yeah. And they appreciate you for it. So
and that's what I was saying. Like,
important.
That's what I was saying. It's important to hire the person too. But Tzara, can you go for another 18 minutes?
As usual, man.
Sure?
Never only
As
1
usual.
Hour. Okay, I just don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep you from something.
Not from the horses. We don't want to keep you from the horses.
I could speak to you for hours. I don't mind. I think we have an amazing conversation.
Okay, I have a question that somebody sent me to ask you. Photographer Omar Gonzalez. He's a prominent photographer on YouTube. He has a big channel as well.
Okay.
But he sent me a question for you. Let me open it up real quick. This is from Omar Gonzalez, photography.
So he prepared some videos for you, right?
Says,
Did
no,
you
it's
get a
not a
video
video.
from him?
It's not a video. It's he sent me
Okay.
the question on email. Let's see.
Okay.
Where did I? One second. Here it is. Okay. So I guess it's a two-part question. How does Tzara deal with paralysis by over analysis syndrome when doing commercial work? As photogs, we always have 1,000 choices to choose one photo. Okay, wait. The first part is, how does Tzara deal with the paralysis by over analysis syndrome when doing commercial work? I guess
Not sure to understand well all the question really well. I mean, can you maybe tell it to me another way so I could really understand more the question? Because
so he says, as photographers, we always have 1,000 choices to choose one photo.
yeah,
Does she limit her gear? Okay. If you have, let's say you want to choose one photo, right? But you're over analyzing which one to promote or which one to send. I think that's what he's asking.
that's funny. I don't overanalyze. When I do, when I'm not sure about a picture, when I one or another, like I use photo mechanic. I don't know, as a program to edit my shots. So let's say I have 1,000 picture. Actually, I'm telling you, I have a weird way of working. Okay, actually, I go really fast, so it goes really fast, and I just stop on the one that kept my eye. Like, I don't know, it's weird, but when there's too much pictures, I look at them, and then after I'm going, okay, boring. If I get bored myself on the pictures, I see, or if there's nothing going on, I'm just going super fast and see all the pictures going fast, and then I don't know why there's one capturing me, so I put it on, like, I tag it, and then after I continue, and they go, oh, sorry, this was French too, and suddenly there's like another one that caught my eyes, and I said, okay, I tag that one too, and at the end, and if there's like too many pictures that look similar, then after I go there, edit, I'm looking the emotions, I'm looking and then after really dark with the technique. Okay, the technique is better than and there, and I go like technique is probably like the last thing I'm looking to edit between two shots.
I think what he's trying to say here, detailed, is like, let's say you have to show one shot to a news agency, but you're torn between 3 shots, and you're just like over analyzing which one to send. How do you deal with that? Like,
yeah, that's funny because I have been like this year was the 5th year anniversary for me of being a Nikon ambassador, and I did the test to edit my last best pictures in the 5 last years. Okay, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this the day before sending it on, and I was like, oh my god, I don't remember how to, like it was really hard. And it's like recreating a portfolio. So if you have to choose between the 3 pictures, let's say you have 3 pictures to show, choose the one that represents yourself better. Don't care about who's on the picture. Just there's tips you can get on this. Use it like technical. Is it okay? What the emotion is. Don't care who's on the picture. Just, does it talk to you? Is it your style right now?
Yeah.
I think this is, you overanalyze, I will do this, or I'll try a way to show this.
The best part, Tzara, is yeah, exactly, and the best thing that you talked about right now is a tool that I guess a lot of the young bucks today don't use, which is photo mechanic, right?
It's
they don't even know what it is, but if you are a true photojournalist and you're doing stuff rapid fire type of thing, photo mechanic is your friend. I mean, that tool is incredible on how fast you can go through pictures and not totally lose your mind, right? Like emotion, no emotion, next. Okay, done. Within, that's how I edit my weddings. I end up with usually 1,000, 1,500 shots. I have 250 within literally 10 minutes. If I'm spending more than 10 minutes getting down to the last 250, I'm wasting my time, right? Because time is money. So photo mechanic is a very, very cool tool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
for a wedding, for a wedding, you need to have a in exact direction, in your head. You're telling a story.
Yeah.
And photojournalism, you do the same.
Yeah.
Actually, I do wedding as I do photojournalism. Okay, I mean, like, you have a shot. You need to send the pictures like maybe 10 minutes after doing whatever you were doing, and you don't have time to think about what's is it perfect there or there. You just used to, okay, this one is telling the story. This one is telling the thing what I want. This is the story of what's happening right now. In the wedding, it's like sometimes you put little details because you know that the weather, not the weather, but the how do you say this in English? Oh man,
the money shot.
well, not the money shot. I mean, like the girl who just get married had to put like details, like the details of a wedding. You don't do this in photojournalism. And I don't take the flowers or
the detail shots.
Yeah, the detail shots. Sorry, and that's what. When I shoot a wedding, I'm more like, okay, it's a photo reportage. It's a story that needs many shots. But when you're working photojournalism, sometimes you just send 2 pictures. Okay.
Right.
They don't have the time to look at your pictures anyway, so they're gonna use the first one that goes in. So you better choose the best pictures that look for. Then it's otherwise the journal is just gonna like the one, and so I'm used to edit fast and not overanalyze something. Sometimes, but just sorry, Vahanga again. When you were telling the story about the woman with the skirt that was not okay, and then you help it. You know what was missing? What's not missing that some photographers forgot is that people are not used to being taken care of anymore by strangers or by photographers or by you go buy shoes now and they like, okay, guy buys. There's no listening. There's no. So what you did is just you take care of someone for her. That's it. With kind of love and respect, actually, and you don't, maybe at that time you didn't know her well yet, so you just did your thing with love, and that's what's missing, I think, in a lot of things in our society right now. Love, not love like love, but it's like loving to help, loving to taking care of someone who has feet problem and want to buy a shoe, and just take time with this person to help it. This is not, and that's what sometimes there's a big difference when you are a photographer, because this is services. It's more than just I'm going to give you a good shot. It's about I'm going to give you a shot that will fit with who you are, and I'm going to take care the way I can do of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with like.
And the second question was.
Before I get to that, I just want to comment on what you said. Same thing. When, let's say, for example, I'm shooting and I see something that's off on a woman, like maybe the clothing is maybe exposing part of her body that shouldn't be shown, I let him know. Look, I pull him to the side, adjust this part, like pull it up. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you so much. Where I know photographers that would have just not said anything or shoot it and then show me the shot. Oh, look what I got. No, that's not funny. You know what I mean? Like, that's not funny.
Well,
I think that's maturity, right? And that's the problem. It's we have too many boys trying to do a men's job and too many girls trying to do a lady's job, right? I mean, real photographers don't brag about their pictures on the back of their screen to other people. They don't need to. They know they got the shot. And when we used to shoot DSLRs, just by the sound of that shutter, you knew that shot's in. I don't need a damn EVF or a screen to tell me I got it. I just know the sound of that shutter. I got it. But that's experience. When you don't have experience, you're constantly looking in the back and doing this. Oh, look. Oh, look. Oh, look. When that happens, that's when you know you hired the wrong person for the job.
So,
exactly. Sometimes sometimes I show, like at the beginning of the shoot when I talk with the person, one-on-one shot. Let's say we're talking about portraits right now, okay? Well, you're alone with a person, or friends or whatever family who's there, and I'm not doing a lot of family though because I don't know why I don't like those kind of shots, but I show a little bit because I want to be sure, because
Yeah.
I want to be sure she is okay. We're going this good direction. But then after it's like,
Yep.
okay, like I said, I don't like my jaw or whatever. I said, okay, now I understand that you rather like yourself that way
Right.
because I don't know how you see
Yeah.
yourself.
But
I know that I see like.
And
the subject,
I'm talking
the
about an
subject,
event, guys.
no, I know that, but the subject, like the bride, always says, "Hey, can I see myself on the screen?" I go,
Yeah,
"Sure,
well,
Yeah.
I say a lot. No, you'll see
Yeah.
later.
Well, no,
second
you
part
can't
of
say no. I mean, you show it, which is fine, right? But I think Vahagan, what she's saying is she's correct. If it's a controlled environment, and it's a client in your studio, sure, that's a very different story than you have 10 people in front of you and you're just going from person to person showing. That's not really.
No,
I don't want to say
that's
appropriate.
different.
It just looks weird, right?
That's different. But I'm talking about a bride that says, "Look, by the way, like I do this sometimes to a bride because I like to ask the bride, do you like this kind of shots? Like, what kind of shots do you want?
Yeah.
Do you want more like semi smile, more serious? Do you want to show teeth? Because I don't want her coming back to me and just complaining, oh, I don't like my teeth in all these shots. Anyway, second part of the question is
Wait,
gear related.
I just want to say something for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you could help for later on. Next time, maybe you can just ask the bride at the phone before singer what you don't like on yourself.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, so you should do a consultation ahead of time, correct?
Yeah, but sometimes she doesn't like her makeup the day of, and she's all paranoid.
That's a different story now. Now that's a whole different ball game.
But you're right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't like
Good
this. I don't
point.
like that. My skin is too shiny. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna show you. Is this what you want? If
You
this is
know
not
what
you
was very funny. So I'll share this. I'm glad you said that. So she was. So we Indian brides wear a lot of red, right? And so this particular bride, and I'm not going to go into detail about who she is. She had a curvy, figure, right? So certain things look a certain way. So I have to be very careful. Again, comes back to that 135/85 conversation we were having before. What lens are you going to really use now to make sure that this bride can look the most beautiful, right? So it becomes a testament of time, because when you sit there and you show her a shot at 35 millimeters and you show her the same shot at 70 millimeters, 9 times out of 10, she's going to say, I love how the 70 looks, right? She doesn't know it's a 70. That's what I want. So what do you like? So you're right, Vahagan. Sometimes it's like, what is it? Is it this or this? What would you like for the rest of the day? And now you know for sure what she likes, because imagine you're going in there with that whole mindset, I'm going to shoot it wide and I'm going to crop in. You can't crop in and fix her figure, dude. It's game over at that point. So all of your camera gear, you can just forget about it at that point, because you cannot make her look right anymore. So that's a really good point, Vahagan, that you actually made, because it's making me think through, like, those are conversations we have. We just don't think about it. We just do it.
Well, two tips I want to give to you guys. Number one, to people that are doing weddings, do this all the time, because you don't want to get back and get in trouble. Brides are going to complain about their makeup. That's the biggest issue I have. I have no control over their makeup. Tzara, maybe you understand makeup more. You can fix that. But me, I can't. So it's out of my control. And also for men, my biggest problem for men is sometimes they forget their cell phone in their pocket. And then you see the frame of the phone in their pants.
Yeah.
I don't want to fix that. So you always make sure that frame is not there visible. So that's one thing. So the second part of Omar's question, okay, gear related. Does she limit gear? Only, let's see, only 1 or 2 lenses for most things. Same with lighting. Keep it simple. How does she deal with overthinking everything, like with gear? Like, do you keep it simple, or a couple of lenses here and there?
Yeah, I keep it simple. I really do keep it simple. I have like I have like only 4 lenses.
Yeah.
Not even. I have 3 lenses and how do you call this in English? A doubler. Like, how do you call this? Man.
Fisheye?
It's a 2x2.0. It doubles.
Extender.
Yeah,
Extender.
it doubles the lens for the
Teleconverter.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I had a blink right now. So I only have 3 lenses in the teleconverter. So I have like
So this is inspiring for me because I have suffered from this all the time about gear. I feel like sometimes I don't have enough, or I panic because I'm gonna need this, or I want to sell something and I'm like, I don't want to sell it because I might need it. I
yeah.
love it that you keep it simple and you only have what you use and you only use what you use. So that's awesome. You know, I have to really, really cut down on taking the gear that I take. It's most of it doesn't get used, but that's great. Hey, Touch Life Studio, what's up, bro? He has a great channel too. But
Yeah.
that's
Well,
yeah.
it's because I think as I said earlier, I improvise a lot. I don't. I go with my instinct more than my. Well, I use my brain obviously, but I mean like I go with what I see. I get inspired by. I don't want it. I overthink a lot in my life. I try to not. The photography is the only part, the only moment where I don't overthink. Okay, so it's meditation for me. So when I'm somewhere, I think it's pretty or this could be fine. I let my brain stop thinking. Okay, that's a difference maybe. And after I think, but while I'm shooting, that my focus is so on what's going on that if ever I'm like, oh, should I use the 1.8 or the 1.2 because I would get a better bucket there, and then maybe like, oh, well, I might not like it, so maybe I would use the 200 millimeters. I'm using everything. So
Yeah.
keep it simple. It's like I have like this little lenses too. I forgot about this 50 millimeters to like 2.4, 5.5 anyway. It's a DX. Okay, I use this. I bought it. I love it. Not for the quality, but just because it's light, small, and I can travel with it. It's not heavy at all.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not good quality, but I'm on travel. I don't care doing big shots and quality shots that make that much. But I think
Yeah.
it's when you're a photographer, we're used to have to compromise. We're used to compromise. We're used to
I think it comes back to what you were saying earlier, right, Sarah? It's and the point that we were making is there's a big difference between making and taking a photo. When you yes, there are lenses back there, but these lenses are systems, right? And these systems allow me to pick whatever it is. I'm fortunate I can afford to do it. Not everyone can. If you can't afford to do it, you can't, right?
Hey,
And
wait a minute.
I'm
Is
able
there
to do it,
earthquake?
right?
Is there earthquakes in Washington D.C., man?
No, no earthquakes.
Because
And yes,
you
it's strapped down, Vahagan. I
you see the
strapped it
top
down because
you see the
he
top
came
lenses
to
there.
me.
Yeah.
He
You see
came
the
to me
top
the other day.
lenses.
He goes, "Hey man, those things are gonna fall."
Yeah, those
No,
are
they're not
pretty
gonna fall.
expensive. Are you sure?
No, they
Okay.
are garbage anyway. Yeah, Canon sucks
Okay.
anyway, so they don't shoot anything worth. But just to let you know, I mean, like this shot, this particular lens here, that's a 300-2.8. That lens has won so many awards, photos. It's had images published in Forbes, right? Shooting the Dance USA dance circuit for McDonald's and PlayStation Theater in New York City. So all of these lenses, like to even Vahagan's point, I know we all get this gear acquisition syndrome, but this is stuff that I've had for over 20 years, that my lifelong and blood has gone through this stuff, right? This is not just something to, tantalize my YouTube content to get people excited about. This has served my clients for a very long time, right? And where they're willing to pay a lot of money. So a lot of people don't understand. You date, go on a date with your camera bodies, but you're going to marry your lenses for life. And your lenses are what are really going to keep you within the system where you are. Lenses, lighting, that kind of thing. But that's where the biggest money should be really spent. Camera bodies, every 6 months, they're already outdated anyway, because there's something new.
But
Lenses,
that
you're
being
going to keep
said,
for a long time.
that being said, I like how Tzara keeps it simple. I love that about you.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
that's awesome. Yeah. So
But
I have the whole Batis set up, right? The Batis, they're all primes, right? And it's literally 5 primes. And it covers every little situation you can think of shooting. And they're all color balanced, color matched. You could literally shoot weddings. You can shoot any damn thing with those lenses, even with just one camera, the ZF. You could easily do it. From an 18 all the way to 135. That's plenty. You can shoot everything.
Well,
so that's just it. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think more you use the same lenses, more you get fast with them and used to use it as the way you want to use it. And
I want to ask you one question. I want to ask you one question though, because hold that thought for a second and then finish your thought. Since you shoot commercial and you have clients that pay you, consistency in your work. Tell me, do you think there's going to be more consistency or less consistency if you have more lenses versus less lenses?
I think there's more consistency by using it's the way you create your style. Because when you're always changing lenses, it changes your style. You get as a photographer, as an artist, to know what lens do you prefer. The part that's not funny with that is you get bored too using the same lens, and that's the contradiction. So sometimes it's like, oh, okay, let's try a fisheye. Like, why not? Let's try to rent a fisheye. Let's try it for one day. I had a period I was shooting portrait with a fisheye. I was like, I want to make fun of people, okay? I want not fun of people. I mean, like, I want to make
fun shots,
look fuck shots, and they're happy. And I was like this. I used it like for 6 months, okay? And
that's great.
And you were like, oh my god! And it was like making people jump on the table. I was like, people were like, oh my god, shooting with you is like sport. I get, yeah. I know. And they were like running in front of my camera, in front of my fisheye, and their nose were like this in front of the camera. And like, I was like having fun. I had that thing. And then after I get bored, as I said, like, I was like, okay, I think it's not giving me what I really want to get from a picture. Okay. So the problem is, I think you change for me. I'll talk for me. Okay. I think when I'm kind of an artist, and I think that you have phases as an artist that you put yourself in question about, like, where am I going now? What do I want to, like, for yourself, not as a photographer for weddings or portraitors, but what do I want to show now? And I think you have some places where you're like, oh my god, I'm bored. What am I going to do? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? That's why I did an exhibit, the first one, by the way. And I needed to have a new challenge, and so for the lenses, I think it's the same. Sometimes you get bored with a lens, and then you have to try something else, and then you get back to the lens you were before, because I still on that vision. I'm still on this. Or you change.
Well, what I do, Tzara, this is what I do, right? So yes, there's a lot of gear, but this is what I do. I know the look of the brand that I represent. Right. And people are used to that. That's why they hire you, right? Because I've seen your work. That's what I want. I like it. Right. And when that changes, then they can't explain what has changed. They just don't like it anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm very careful. That's why some of these lenses, a lot of people are, buy all the new RF lenses, buy this, buy that. Why? I got people that are willing to pay me top dollar all day long with these lenses until one of them totally dies. I'm not buying a new one. Why? Because it changes that look.
I think photographers are looking. I'll call this. I'll try. I'll call this in English. I think it's a fling photographer thing. Like, they have flings with lenses. Like, that's all.
Yeah. Are you selling some of that now that you don't have YouTube no more?
No, she said no. I probably will use it more now because I don't have to waste hours. 10 hours, 15 hours of video.
Tzara,
I got more time on my hands.
Tzara, let me tell you, this guy had a channel for like 10 years, and now he wants to just throw it all away. Please give him some advice.
Well, take it as a lens. Don't put it on the shelf right now. Like, maybe just say.
That's what I'm trying to do.
No. I'm talking about his channel. He wants to stop YouTube.
I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
Behave.
You want to stop YouTube because I'm pretty sure as a photographer, you don't want it to be in front of a computer all your day, and doing videos and doing things like this as a photographer for me. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you want to have adventure and live other things too than being always stuck behind
Which
the
I
camera.
do. I do that. So I'll share like where Vahagan's going, right?
But the real
I
question is
do that
why do you want to stop it?
because I have to tread carefully on here because there's some things I cannot really share here because I think YouTube has turned into like a watering trough for people to come there and share their inner emotions and their frustrations, and they really feel like even this live stream, for example, a lot of people are enjoying it now, but later you'll see like serious hateful comments pop on there. It's like, where does that even come from?
I
Right?
don't read them.
It's what people do, right? So having said that, I without going into too much detail because I want to be respectful of your time too.
Well,
I think it's a hard thing to do to walk away after having 851 videos. I mean, it literally actually asked me this morning, you have 851 videos with over 2 million views on your channel. Do you really want to do this? And I said, you know what? I have to do this at this point. I can't do it anymore because this community, they're not here to learn from you. They're just here to ridicule and have some kind of an entertainment that they can
Not
enjoy.
everybody.
Like,
Not everybody.
I
Not
agreed,
everybody.
and I'm not saying that everyone, but the conversations like we had with Tzara today, right? You go back
Oh,
and you watch this. These are not just about like gear type of conversations. These are really very intimate, emotional conversations about creating a beautiful photograph.
well,
That's what we talked about. But that's
and
not what people want to talk about.
no, well, you know what? We'll see. Let's go here in like 1 month to see what are the comments of after that. Just let's see,
Okay.
okay? Because actually, when I post on things, I'm always like, it just implies me or advice. We're having a conversation between friends that we're exchanging. We can have someone here.
Maybe we'll start something different, Zara. Right? Maybe the three of us will actually change the face of photography and the mindset of photography and start something different. I would be open to that. We should maybe talk offline and figure out what to do. But as far as the channel goes, I think it's probably best to just let these people be the way they are. And no, you're not going to silence me and this and that. It's just I choose not to associate myself with that because having been shooting photography for almost 35 to 38 years, this is not what YouTube used to be. It has turned into something very different today.
Probably.
And it's really I'm
well,
losing who I am. Like to your point.
Not all aspects though. When I first saw Zara's videos on YouTube, I turned on the no, not your personal videos, but the ones that people were interviewing you.
Oh yeah, okay. Because I don't have any
those.
YouTube channels. So
Yeah.
I was like, what video are the? What is there videos of me?
No, yeah.
Okay.
But those videos, I turned on the translator and I got something out of them. It was educational. It was fun. It was motivational. Not all of YouTube is that way. It's just you're gonna get a lot of hate. A lot
I
of people
agree.
disagree.
I agree.
A lot of people disagree with me, but when I bring up politics, they don't want to hear it. Fine, but
Yeah.
look, it's my channel.
I don't get what's the problem with haters. Actually, yeah, I do get it. Okay, when it's really personal and everything, I do get it when it's like personal act. But I don't get that you read them. You don't have to read them.
I'll share a real life story with you, Zara, to make it real, right?
Okay.
I was in India last year around Thanksgiving. Okay. And that's when Nikon was planning to release the ZF. It was about to come out. It wasn't out yet. There in India, they have Nikon stores. They have actual stores that sell Nikon products, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna hop on in here, check it out. It's cool, right? So I'm in there, and the guy's in there, and we were just talking about the older Nikons that I used to shoot. He's like, I'm gonna show you something. So he pulls out this Pelican case that he had, and he pulls out the ZF. He goes, take a look at this. I'm like, what's that? It's like, it's not out yet. About 2 more weeks, it'll be out. So he shows it to me, and he puts on a lens. I said, well, can I try it? I was like, hey, yeah, go ahead. He let me try it. if it wasn't for that person allowing me to be able to have that interaction as a human being, and them listening to my history with Nikon,
Mhm.
and putting a ZF in my hand, I would have never bought one. And I said, well, how can I buy this one? And he goes, no, you want to probably buy one in the United States because you want to get warranty and this and that, because, you know, it's Asia Pacific and this and that. I'm like, fine. I came back to the United States, bought one. And I start to make videos on it, this and that. Is it a perfect camera? No. Do I love my ZF? Absolutely. Right? That's why I bought it, right? And these people are like, oh, yeah, he's never shot Nikon before. He doesn't know shit, this and that. Dude, I'm not looking for your approval, you know? But these people really feel like they own the damn brand. It's almost like they're on Nikon's payroll. They're like nuts, you know? And they're getting vicious, toxic, and sometimes in many states in the United States, cyberbullying is actually a crime. It's a felony. They're abusing people online. So, you know, I have to make a decision. Do I want to continue down this path? You can go live with it, whatever it is. You want to shoot Nikon, fine. You want to shoot Leica, I don't care. Go shoot whatever the hell you want. But be respectful. And if I feel that a brand is running short compared to the other brands, it's my job to let Nikon know, hey, buddy, 4 other brands are doing this. Why aren't you doing this? Oh, we don't want to do that. Or
there's no perfect camera, brother. Like
there isn't. There isn't. I mean, you see, like Jeff and Leslie, right in the comments here. The poor guy, Vahagan and I, and I didn't want to bring all this up, but I'm going to share it with you. Vahagan and I have taken so much abuse by this Nikon community, not just here, across the world. And I want Nikon USA to really freaking hear this. It's very important that they do. Racist comments towards us because he's Armenian.
I take hate from Canon and Sony too,
but not to this level, Vahagan. Now you're bending the story. These people have actually called him a racist. Racist comments. They've literally come after my turban as a racist comment, and they've done it on here. That's one thing, right? And all that we ask for is, where is my Z500? Because Canon came out with the R7 Mark II for wildlife and, you know, those kind of people. They've been asking for it. Oh, put the Z9 in crop mode. No. There are a lot of people that cannot afford the Z9 to put into crop mode. At that time, the Z8 wasn't out. Jeff and Leslie, he's actually in the comment. He bought an R7. Guess what?
Yeah,
Nikon, someone just ate your lunch.
Yeah, he got a lot of hate.
You just lost a Nikonian. Oh, I got like threats and all kinds of stuff. Why? Because I'm sitting there actually questioning, how dare Nikon? Nikon is not perfect. Do you honestly think you are an ambassador to Nikon, right? You're a Nikon ambassador.
Yeah, yeah. And I can right? agree that there's some things in Nikon that doesn't suits me that will suit another photographer.
Exactly.
As a car will suit me, and then another car won't suit you. It's what states.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. I know there's errors. I know that. My point was, it's just I understand yours really because it's. I think we cannot say no more. Actually, I think people are really getting crazy about what we can say and not anymore. But I think that.
Put up his comments so she can read this because I think she needs to read that.
I'm from France, okay? I was born in Quebec. I was born in Canada, but all my family is French, okay? From Europe, from France, okay? And in France, I don't know, here too, I think, and we like to not have the same point of view and discuss about it. So for me, I have no problem discussing. Yep.
Yeah,
not discussing. A different point. If you don't agree, I totally accept that. You know, so that's why when haters tell me like when I have one, because I don't have haters.
Who can hate you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes
they can because they can't shoot like her for sure.
Or just that I'm not having a YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe I'll see in 1 month someone.
No, but Tzara, the bottom line is simple. Regardless of your brand, show me what you can produce with that camera. Because you know what? As good as Nikon marketing can tell me it is, when you produce garbage out of it, to me, it's a piece of crap of a camera. You produce beautiful images out of it, it's awesome. It's all on you. It's all on, like what you said, the baker. If the baker ain't good, the cake is not going to taste good, no matter no matter what you put in there.
Exactly.
I
That's what exactly. It's just that I love. I'm with Nikon since the beginning. Okay, and I love the lenses, and when I love something, I love it really long. You know, like I love it really. Like I'm loyal, you know, and I don't even want to try to change camera or change lenses. I just, I keep it simple in my lenses, so I'm not gonna fuck my mind with like changing marks and everything.
And I love to shoot multiple systems. Why? Because I want to be able to shoot what Nikon's doing, what Canon's doing, what Sony's doing. I'm not married to these damn things. And Nikon, Canon, and Sony, they're not putting food on my table. I'm paying money for this gear, right? So unless they're writing my check every single 2 weeks, frankly, I'm going to be critical of the things that work and don't work from a professional perspective. And that doesn't mean that the brand is bad. It's it's a service to the Nikon people to say, hey, Nikon, fix this, right? Because these people are so like living in like this fantasy world that Nikon can do no wrong. How dare you say something about Nikon? Well, who the hell are you? Are you the CEO of Nikon?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, do you even own one stock in the company?
Listen, there's so many, like, there are all marks or all company are goods for different reasons and for different styles.
Exactly.
I love Nikon because I love the way it shoots. I love the way I love everything in Nikon.
Absolutely.
And I had the chance to be chosen as ambassador. Okay, I didn't ask for it. I was really lucky about that, and I love that.
Awesome.
I'm feeling grateful. Okay, but if you tell me that Canon is better than this on Nikon, good for you, guy. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. I love my husband. I know your husband is better than mine. For you, not for me.
Yeah, great.
That's a good one. I like that.
What a great
comparison.
That's a really good one. I'm going to use that.
What a great point. What a great sentence.
Great. Your husband is better than mine for you. That's great.
This has turned into a fireside chat with a therapy session.
Yeah, told you.
Oh boy. All right, Vahagan, I'm not going to bring the channel back though. Come on now. I know he's trying very hard.
Just by the way, Amar, maybe like not take it up, take a break from it. Then you'll think about it after, okay? Then
I have, but you know what, Tzara, they don't stop. They keep coming, and what they're doing now is they're going to. No, well, you got to understand something. When you have a brand associated with it. So think about it, right, Tzara? What is your company called, by the way? Do you have a company, Tzara?
Tzara Maud Photography.
Okay, so let's say it's Tzara Maud Photography, and Tzara Maud Photography is being slandered on Nikon Rumors, all these places that Tzara sucks and she's a hater and she's this, she's that, constantly putting out there. Do you think it's going to impact your business, Tzara? Eventually?
Probably from people that doesn't know me or that doesn't follow me,
exactly.
But I use a lot an old style way of working is the ear talking here, like people refers me, and there's not a lot of, actually you can see there's no reviews on my website. Like I think I got the first one like last week. I was like, oh my god, what is this? It's a review. Okay. So I'm not about like, sure, I'll give me a review. Nice. Oh wow, at least it's a good review. Like I don't do reviews, but yeah, I get it that I guess that someone that doesn't follow me, that doesn't know me, that sees all those bad comments. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You see, I think that there's a lot of people that knows too that when you get reviews on the hotel, you check an hotel, you go on vacation, you check an hotel, you see all the reviews. Yeah. There's a lot of 1 star and 5 because what it was called that day, So I think people are getting that. There's a lot of what's going on the internet too, and I think it's what you want to get as people. As I told you earlier, I'm looking for people that want to work with my energy, and I'm using what I can control to spread that. What I can't control, I'm letting it say, okay, whatever happens, and I'll just like manage it. And I understand that if my company, there were so many bad reviews on it, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it would affect something.
And these are not bad reviews, though. What they're doing is they're deliberately changing aliases and writing very nasty, hateful comments all over social media. These people are vicious, Lara. They're not like they're crazy, and there are a lot of things I cannot talk about from a legal front. But things are being looked at very seriously. But I'll definitely consider some of the things that you've talked about here. And then Michael, thank you for your comment.
Yeah, you read that comment, Michael? Yeah, that
I just did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you, the personality that you have, you're pretty direct and straightforward. Maybe sometimes that will rub off some people the wrong way. You know what I mean? So anyway, don't stress. Take a break. Go on vacation, and come back strong. By the way, Tzara, I love the look. Like I love
Yes.
that the glasses and the. You remind me of the younger.
It's cool.
You watch Sopranos at all?
Oh yeah. What's his name?
Adriana.
Okay. Oh, you know what? That's funny because a lot of people I refer to those. I just had those glasses for fun because I cannot wear lenses. How you call this? Contact lenses anymore for many reasons. So I was bored with those classic glasses, like black glasses, and I was like, "Hey, I'm sick of it." So I just put new yellow glasses inside those sunglasses I had, Ray-Bans actually, and actually every colleague's making fun of me because is your white balance okay? Is this like?
I love it. No, I love it.
That's funny because there's really we have someone really important in Montreal who is a big boss of a lot of persons anyway, and he saw me on a red carpet and said like, what are those? It makes people talk and having fun, and like people recognize me in the street because of my glasses. And for me, it was just like I'm sick of those dark glasses.
Hey, by the way, I get a lot of hate for my glasses when I wear them.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like them. They're cool.
Why are you wearing dark glasses in a dark room? Because I want to.
People ask questions, so now you can have a discussion.
Because I feel like it and I like it. I mean, that's it. And plus, I do a lot of editing sometimes at night, and I have like circles around my eyes sometimes from the being tired.
I'm gonna send you a link to a movie, Indian movies, Tzara, and there's this young lady in there, and you should watch her. And I think she might be French too, but she's in this movie, right? Okay. And you like the whole time you've just been reminding me of her, like watching. But I'll send you both the link and you can watch it.
No, I love it. Adriana from The Sopranos, minus the accent, of course. Yeah. A New York accent. Hey,
Well, but, I'm not there yet.
I know. But I have a question for you guys. This is a question that I always just wonder. Okay.
Sure.
So a lot of photographers, they say, I love shooting when it's overcast. Okay.
Overcast? Mm-hmm. Sorry, what is it?
Overcast is no sun, cloudy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Cloudy.
And then I think to myself, well, why? And then they say, well, because all the light is even, it's flat, this. But then the problem that I have when I shoot without using a flash for this situation is you get raccoon eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You get, the raccoon eyes effect, where it's dark around the eyes.
Yep.
When I mentioned that with the glasses, it reminded me of this. So do you, other than using fill light to eliminate the raccoon eyes from overcast, is there other techniques you guys use on an overcast day? I get a lot of comments from photographers saying I rather shoot overcast. I'm like, are you crazy? Give me the sun, man. I want sun. I want colors. I hate shooting overcast.
There are techniques, Vahagraphy. Why don't we let Tzara go first? Why don't you go ahead and go first, Tzara, and I'll share with you sort of what I do.
Your turn, Amar. I talked a lot.
My turn? I typically play a lot with the metering. So in that situation, you need to understand. So the Nikon ZF, I'm going to stick to Nikon because, most people here, speak Nikon talk. The ZF was one of the first cameras to actually have link point exposure, right? So your exposure and your IBIS both are linked to that point, which is a first, right? The beauty of that is you can try partial metering and take a look at your histogram, and then obviously the best way in that situation, if the light's not enough, and you don't have an external flash or any kind of a modified light source, is to shoot it in spot metering, and that spot needs to be linked to the AF point on the eye. If you get that right, yes, you'll probably blow out some of the other things, but this is where reading your histogram and understanding exposure is critical.
The thing is, I don't want to blow out the other things.
But then you're left with one thing. God only gave you so much light. So if that's the case, pull out your flash.
Okay.
So it's a choice. Either you get the shot, and again, I don't want to bring up dynamic range again, but this is where dynamic range becomes very important, because anything that you blow out, you want to be able to recover, get that shot. So again, either that or you bring in extra light.
I'm like Tzara. I don't want to edit. So
well,
yeah.
Well, what I do is I can use a fill-in flash, which I don't use often because I don't like to use flash that much. I really do. Well, I'm in a phase since 1.5 years that I love natural light, and I'm not into flash anymore that much instead of on red carpets. So what I'm doing when this kind of, I contrary to you behind, I like when it's cloudy, because I like the ambience. I like to have clouds in my images and everything. What I do when I get those raccoon eyes, even with clouds, which is more rare than with sunlight, I think, because depending of the eyes of the person you shoot, they're really sensitive sometimes. So I don't like, anyway, we'll not go over there. But I mean, like, I think what I do is that I get where there's more shadows actually, where, like a roof or something like this, so I can get the background and have a little bit more of shadow in front, so I don't get the raccoon eye. Or I use an umbrella to do a little bit more shadow without cutting too much light. I use some little tricks just to take off this and put more soft in the light too. And that's.
But what if you got rid of? So his question was, what if you got rid of flash, external modifiers? All you had is a model, a camera, and a lens.
Okay.
In that situation, how do you shoot it without blowing something out?
I put the model. I put the model down, facing the sun, facing the sky, and shooting behind. So there's no more raccoon.
That's one way of doing it. Sure.
I'm just fooling around, but I think reflectors is a good way of. Reflectors are a good way.
And to your point, Vahagan, it's hard because and that light is usually not as flattering as when you have sunlight hitting it from somewhere.
Love sunlight.
Agreed, right? Absolutely, right? But but that's where the strobes are for, right? To recreate, be able to bring that light back in.
I don't want to take all that. I don't want to take that. I don't want to miss
stop being lazy. Be a photographer.
What do you really want?
What do I want?
What do you really want?
Yeah, what do you really want? Because I'm getting confused with this question now.
Yeah,
no.
I gave you two scenarios, bro. She even put the bottle on the floor, man.
What I'm saying is, when I hear photographers say I'd rather shoot in cloudy conditions, I'm not talking about the look of the sky. I'm talking about the light. I say, no, bring out the sun. I want sun. I want direction of light. I want golden. I want.
But you still have the same. The sun is behind the cloud, right? So the sun is still there.
Well, are you talking about the sun being directly above the head?
Well, at noon. You mean at noon, like around?
See, now you're adding another element. He's changing the story now. Tzara, he's changing the story on us.
You would have the same problem, cloudy or not cloudy, with the sun over your head. You would have the same raccoon eye anyway. So.
Exactly.
What the thing is when it's cloudy, it's just a little bit more. There's less raccoon eye than when it would be sunny. So, the only thing you can do is move the face around the sun so you don't have the raccoon eyes.
Or you can take the model to lunch at 12 noon and come back at 2 o'clock once the sun moves a little bit, and then do the shoot.
By the way, guys, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for people.
Well, I think
Oh,
no.
okay, okay.
We're talking. You're asking the question, so I'm talking.
I just
That
wanted.
was
I just wanted
Vahagan's
your.
question, actually.
I just wanted you guys' input on this. I wanted your guys'
Oh,
huh? No, no,
Don't
no.
worry, Vahagan.
Look,
We still love you,
hold on.
man. We still love you,
Hold
man.
on, man. Hold on. I've been doing this for a long time. But listen, I just wanted to see what you guys would say. But the whole thing is sometimes you just don't want to take all the gear. I'm not lazy, by the way.
No,
I just don't want
I
to.
agree.
You need an assistant. Yeah.
Dude, just
You
blow it
need
out and make sure your camera has enough dynamic range, and you'll be just fine. Just shoot it with
you
friggin'
need
spot metering and call it a
you
day.
need an assistant for
Yeah.
a major strobe setup. You can't do it by yourself.
Or a reflector, even. Yeah.
And by the way, the best advice for all you guys that are wondering, the time of day of shooting is so important.
Yes.
Go
Yes.
like 1 or 2 hours before sunset or early morning to get the best shots. So
Great advice. Absolutely.
that's
Totally
it.
agree. That's God's gift to you every day.
I know. I shoot a lot with my events. Sometimes my media, well, press events. Like when there's like I'm working for newspapers, so I don't choose the hour where I can shoot. So when I have to, and a lot of the time it's at 11 or 1 o'clock. Okay, 10 and a half, 11, 1 o'clock. I'm like, okay. Well, so what I do is that I use shadow. I use where there's shadows. Shadow is the easiest way to get a more great light.
And there's one more idea, right? So, and this is really far fetched, but you could.
Wait. Hold your thought. Scott, I don't like doing this only because
Yeah.
I just don't like that HDR thing going on. I just don't like doing it. Anyway, go on. Sorry, Amar.
You need a lot of DR, right? A lot of dynamic range to be fooling around with that. So again, that's a different topic, but you're right, Scott. You could get away with that. The best thing to think about also is a small reflector, right? But then you got to find something white, like a white building or whatever, right? And reflect off of that. So if you have any kind of reflective sources, you can always use that to your benefit, even on a cloudy day, and recreate and bring that light back underneath the eyes and the chins. So, but then again, you might need either a another helper or a stand or something to put that reflector on.
Yeah, but
then you got to carry it.
I work a lot alone, and I don't have people to help me, or I use someone I don't know and manage to help me with the reflectors. But this is an amazing reflector.
Foil. Perfect.
Okay, and it's light, and you don't have to all have this. You take a sheet and you manage with that, and doesn't cost a lot. So this is.
Let me see if I can grab one for you.
The 5-in-1 reflectors are cool. They got the gold, the silver, the clear, the translucent part.
Mm-hmm.
I love the translucent one.
Well, this would be good if you want to have you want to hold it while you're shooting on top of your model, so it filters the light a little bit more.
There you go.
There's your dream right there. So, and then you can put the different colors like you just talked about. So, and then this stand is kind of cool because it allows you to just fold it. It's not that much to carry, and you can just stick it anywhere. And you can stick your strobe back here if you really wanted to as well. It's kind of neat. It works perfect.
Yeah, that's cool.
Every time.
Yeah.
We're big guys with big toys.
Well, these are tools, right? Yeah.
You know what I would love one day is for us to just hang out and just talk, have a beer, go get
We
some
should do it in
barbecue.
Quebec sometime. Let's go to Quebec, Vahagan.
Because Tzara, he's in Washington.
Oh, you are?
DC, yeah.
In DC area.
And I'm
if
in
you
LA.
ever come this way, let me know.
And I'm in Montreal.
Do you ever do you travel a lot, Tzara?
Well, a lot, yes and no. It depends. Like I go see my family. I go in France. I go now. I'm going to go in Saguenay. It's more in northeast in Quebec. Quebec is large. It's a large province. But I never went to. Well, I went to Walla Walla and LA once. And when I do one thing, I'm trying to do something else after. Like I did a lot East Coast in America too, because I from East, so it's more easy to go near the sea on East Coast of the United States. But I would really love to talk to you more longer. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would love to. Come here. Like,
Let's all hang out. Like
you
I
know,
want.
Right.
it would be for the money to change is less expensive here. You know, the money change will cost you less if you come here.
I think
Yeah.
you're one of the
No, I would
coolest.
love to come.
I think you're one of the coolest.
It's a lot cooler, Vahagan. We should definitely think about it. It's definitely cooler than here.
No,
Well, not today. Yeah, but yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think you're one of the coolest, like ambassadors from all brands that I've talked to. Like no ego
Yeah,
whatsoever.
absolutely.
You know, I think you'd sell more
Absolutely.
cameras. Like I think people, if they were like you, they'd end up helping the brand sell more cameras if they showed their human side a little bit.
I'm not trying to. I think I'm not trying to sell cameras. I'm just,
What I'm saying is, the ambassador's job is to show off the brand, right? So you bring in the human element that a lot of these guys don't really show or you know.
Well, thank you.
like-
I hope my representative is listening to you right now.
Well,
And
I hope they are listening because this is a very important point, right? It's
actually,
it's
by the
how
way,
you carry yourself, right, from an icon perspective. And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be shooting that ZF if it wasn't from another ambassador in India
Mhm.
with that Pelican case that day. It wouldn't have happened, right?
Mhm.
But they were nice enough. They let me use it. They let me try it. And then when I came back and the amount of stuff that I had to hear, it's like, dude, damned if you do, damned if you don't. These people just don't let up, right? I mean, it's like, calm the heck down. It's like, it's only a camera, right? So, and then when you told me that you're coming on, I'm like, I gotta go check out her work. I didn't look at, oh, let me see how much gear she has. I'm looking at all your work and I'm sitting there going, this is super cool. You know, I got to ask her a question about this. I got to ask her a question about this. And then this morning I did whatever I did with my channel. And then he's like, are you still going to come on? I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you go ahead and do it? He's like, no, you have to come. I'm like, okay.
So
So
one
thank you, by the way, just for what you said. I just wanted to
Yes,
thank
thank you.
I mean, really nice. But by the way, I just want to precise that for me, I'm helping people that buys Nikon. You know, some people write me and say, what should I try between the Z6III, Z8, Z9, or what should I need? I'm here to help. I'm not here to tell you, no, go with Nikon instead of Canon or whatever. I'm here to say,
you're
what
a
are
real
your needs?
Awesome.
And I'm just trying my best to help you. That's all.
you're a real
Absolutely.
person, and that's
Yep.
and that
Hope so.
you will. No, what I mean by that is you come off as like just somebody that people will be friends with. Like you, how can I
Right.
explain this? It's
You have the magnetic personality, right?
like
yeah.
people can relate to you. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, I wish the best for people. I want to, you know, what's the point of
Yep.
making them feel sad, you know, or not giving
Because
them
look,
what they need?
if you have this legendary photographer, right, that has all these awards, all these years of experience, I'm this guy, you know, I did this. I'd rather listen to somebody that's more like me, more like down to earth,
Down to
you know,
earth. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can relate. I don't want to listen to some guy that's out of touch, like you
Yeah.
know what I mean, like
Mm.
with reality. Hey, by the way, something that might inspire you, Tzara, to open a channel one day, or Amar to come back, is I get emails.
He's still trying, man.
Like no. Listen. I get emails. Jimbo here.
Isn't this one?
Yeah, Jimbo.
That's why I'm
emailed me.
cleaning up. It's cleaning up. It's cleaning up.
Huh?
One day at a time. They're cleaning it.
happened?
They're cleaning it.
Who's cleaning it? Oh, the swamp.
Look, man. You get it? You said I live in Washington, D.C.
Well,
He's talking about the
I
swamp.
was in my thoughts. So Jimbo emailed me. He let me know a little bit about his life. You know, this is me. I watch your channel. I love what you do. Hey, by the way, you know, he sent me a self-portrait of himself and what he does, and it was kind of a cool touch. You know, like a viewer of mine actually took the time to kind of introduce himself formally on an email and say, "This is me." Now I know who he is, and it's little things like that, those personal moments. Even with clients, you say, "You know what? I can relate to this. Like, I'm into basketball, or I'm into photography, or I'm into gambling." You know, because I like gambling. I go to casino a lot. me and
Do you gamble in life too? I mean, like,
no.
money. Do you gamble sometimes in like no?
No internet. No internet, because environment.
I mean, like in life, of your choices sometimes.
Oh, gamble in life.
Yeah, do you like to gamble in life too?
Yeah, aren't we gambling every day? Even
That's a
being
good
here,
answer.
like I put out.
Tomorrow is never guaranteed, my friend.
Look,
It's never guaranteed.
I put out content sometimes that's controversial,
Yeah.
and I gamble.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I don't know why he does that. Stop doing that, man.
But
I'm just messing with you, man.
but you know what though, Tzara, I like to take the sure option better. I like to take what's for sure
Yeah.
versus gamble.
Yeah.
But when I'm having fun, I gamble. When
But
I have nothing to lose.
do you more follow your heart or your brain when you do a choice like this?
My heart. That's what gets me in trouble.
But is it better? Is it a better life when you're having a little bit trouble, or would you love a life that is always safe, always perfect, always the way you?
No,
It's
it's
boring,
boring.
right?
I
It's
don't know.
boring.
It
No,
depends.
it's
I think
boring.
people need security. It needs to be totally safe. Depends. That's why I'm asking the question. I need
Well,
a balance
Yeah.
between. I need risky thing and safe thing.
I think if
yeah.
you're comfortable with yourself, right, that's the big thing, right? If you're comfortable with who you are and what you believe in, and you're content with that,
Mhm.
then it's not so much boring, right? Even if you're safe, right, and have that safety net. But to your point, a lot of people are still finding themselves who they are, and that was one of the main reasons why I had to push that button this morning, because like this is not me. I'm turning into something totally different to satisfy the hunger of
But
someone
see that
else.
what you need to
So
block all that
that's
out.
why I did that.
You need to block all
But
that
but it's
out.
hard. It's hard to say, Vahagan. But trust me, if you were to push that button right now on your channel after doing this, after 851 videos, it's not an easy thing to do. And
No,
this
it's
has
not.
been brewing for so long. And the thing is, enough is enough, right? I mean, you want to go jump off of a cliff with your ZF and make it into a parachute? I don't care. Go knock yourself out. I'll still smoke you if you shoot alongside with me with the images that are produced. So let's talk about what you're producing. Don't worry about your gear. I could care less what Nikon, Canon, and Sony do tomorrow. So Michael, you're right. I will most definitely give that some thought, and maybe actually open a creative channel that talks about the art of photography instead of the nonsense of the gear all the time.
I have
Oh,
a
by the way,
I have a friend that wants to do this in Montreal too, a kind of podcast of
yeah.
talking of what's behind photography, not the gear, but the experiences you live.
Sure.
All my conferences are about that. How it, like I'm doing a conference now, how your way of living influences your way of shooting, and how your way of shooting makes
Agreed.
influences your way of living. It's I'm doing conferences on this already. It's like, so yeah, that's the part, and why? It's because it's our interests. Technical photographer will go on technical channel. So what's the you're telling me is that you feel like they need to go on something more emotional.
Right.
Yeah.
Forget
By
it.
the way, when I talk about community earlier, Scott here on the comment,
I
he
thought,
actually made he
Yeah.
actually made a song about my channel.
seriously?
It was
And he
really
sent it to
cool.
me.
Yeah.
And I used it. I'm using it. That's cool. Like these kind of little things that the community, you bring people
Yeah.
together, and
Yeah.
then of course you're gonna have the haters, but then it balances out. So
Well, can't you just?
I got a message today, right,
Can you
Tzara?
just
I got a message from someone that's been on my channel since day one,
okay.
and when I messaged them and told them to say, hey, look, the channel is no more. And he's like, what do you mean no more? And I'm like, it's not there. Is it like gone? I'm like, yeah, it's gone. And I can't even like read the message to you. It's that emotional. And this is someone that's been there ever since the beginning. And this is just one of the ones. I mean, I've gotten so many messages ever since I've been on this stream right now. I guess people are watching it. It's like, no. What do you mean it's gone? What do you mean it's gone? It's like,
it's
it's
10 years.
gone.
It's 10 years. It's 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time. But
Yeah.
So,
But it's normal to change too, and people like you, Amar, I guess, or you behind you. They like you, the way you express yourself, the way you talk, the way you think. They like you. Doesn't mean they like. the content they do, I guess too.
They
But
might
they're like you, and
they might hate the photography, but they like your personality too.
and I think this is what this is what we're facing right now as humans with technology, is that we're having kind of friends that we never met in reality. And when you have to do choices like cutting a channel like you did, Amar, you losing friends that you like. And so that's why you need to get another way, I think, to get those people to come in. I just saw someone say, if you I would change Michael's still there currently. Amar would be the first to join your creative channel, So see,
That's great. Well,
You
at
know
least
what?
I have one subscriber that I can make a video for.
Now Zara's wondering, what the hell did this guy say all these years? I
But
wanna see his
I
video.
was joking with
Right?
Vahagan the other day. I was joking
Wait,
with him this
wait.
morning, Tzara.
you know what?
No,
I don't know what you did past 10 years.
You know what I told him? You know what I told him? What I told him this morning, Tzara? Hold that thought for a second. You know what I told him this morning? I said, I wish there was a way where I could push a button. I could take almost 7,000 of those subscribers and just ship them over to you, Vahagan, so you can just take care of them. But there's no way to do that, apparently. It would be awesome.
That's a good idea to develop. Maybe someone could. Because
No.
I was asking, I wanted to ask, like, is there a way to block the haters? Like, just to block them? Like on Facebook, you block them.
You can, but see, when you block people, guess this is what happens, right? So maybe Vahagan can actually, when you block, it's like, oh, he got scared, so he took it down and he blocked and he did this. It's like, dude, you can't win with these people. And the funny part is, they use like 4 or 5 different aliases, Zara. So what they do is they'll show up on his live stream as whatever because they've been blocked. So they'll change their name and still show up and cause trouble. Then they'll go and write comments in other places with other names and cause trouble, right?
Okay.
Because they got nothing better to do all day.
Paging Sid Phillips. Paging Sid Phillips. Where's Sid Phillips, man? So,
What's the other one on Nikon Rumors? What is it called?
I'm not gonna
What's the name?
Okay, don't worry about it. Hey,
Anyway.
So you're getting the gist of it, right?
See, I see. Like, I like Amar.
Maybe Tzara might maybe actually come back one day very soon. Maybe with a different.
What I want to say is that I don't know what you did the past 10 years. I don't know your story about the years.
I didn't do anything, Tzara.
All I can say is that I just like the connection we had today with like last time. I know
Absolutely.
that when we talked with Fine Heart Lifestyle, I didn't know what he was doing. I was like, okay, as I said earlier, say yes to everything and stress after, So it's like, I was like, okay. And I just love it. The connection. So there's no problem. Amar, if ever you want to get a creative channel, let me know. It'll be a pleasure to discuss with you too.
Sure.
Just one real quick story before we wrap up. I do some pretty controversial things on my show, on my channel. I like to call people out sometimes. People don't like it. Like, the guy with the big hair on YouTube.
So Vahagan, why don't you go ahead and do this? I need to actually drop, guys.
Go for it. We're gonna end this right now.
But
anyway.
Tzara, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Me too.
Reach out and we can connect, and Vahagan can share my actual 247 Media Group email. But it would be great to meet up and actually do something together, and maybe do something more on a creative collective side of that house rather than more of this gear techie nonsense. So let's go ahead and do something. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll say yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you too, Amar.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
So I like to call people. I think he froze. Let me see.
I don't know.
There we go. So I like to call people out sometimes. I get hate for it, but it's all in good fun, right? One guy that I called out, he has a huge channel on YouTube.
Okay.
And he actually took it and said, shit, who is this guy? This guy's, he made a review. He made a video on the 85 1.2 Z lens, and he was kind of misusing the lens, and he didn't really make I had issue with what he was doing on camera, right, with the lens. So I said, hey, this guy made a video, but if somebody wants to buy this lens, don't watch that video because he's misusing the lens. This is a classic 85 1.2 lens, and for me, this lens means a lot because it it's a portrait lens of mine. So he got word that I mentioned him in the video, and he made a video, mentioning me, showing those parts,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a lot of hate from his subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's saying. This guy, like, it was just like a tornado hit me. It was fun. It was cool.
But you like trouble. Okay.
I said, shit, this is good. This is it's negative press. Negative
Exactly.
exposure.
Well, exactly. We have there's a quote that say like, talk bad, talk good. The importance that we talk
Yeah,
bad,
but I'm being silly. But what I'm saying is, like, I made a response video saying, look, that's not what I was trying to say. I was saying that you misuse the lens.
Mhm.
For me, this lens has a lot of pop. That was the discussion, that he said this lens doesn't have pop. And I said, this lens does have pop. Whether you want to call it 2-dimensional pop, he called it 3-dimensional pop. But I think what he was referring to is micro contrast.
Mm.
Which are two different things.
So
for me,
maybe you should invite him on your show.
I did, but he's not gonna come. He's one of those guys that, he's a funny guy. He's a fun guy. I like him. I have nothing against him. But what I'm trying to say is, some people get way too huge, right? When you get way too big, and then you you think of other people as, I'm not gonna waste my time with him or whatever.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is, it was an experience. It was cool. I got a lot of heat, but then I got a lot of support too, saying this guy's not really saying anything bad to you. He's saying something about what you said about the lens. But anyway, I'm not going to quit because of it, and Amar shouldn't either, and nobody should. You should get strong. You should do your thing, and this is photography after all. This is not serious life. We're not. They're more serious.
Saving life.
No, meaning there's so many. There's so many more serious things to talk about in life.
I think what I see is that when people likes you, they like you when they're ready to defend you if ever you attack someone or you've been attacked today. But I mean, like, no, it's not serious life. It's just what I think Amar said is that all the haters he got managed to. You're still there, right? Yeah. Okay. See, I'm trying to do the show for you right now. So when I think he said it was like, it finally, all the haters finally got him to change his life. So that's what's more than dangerous, I think, about that. You can do whatever you want, but if ever you had too many bad comments and it affects your job, there's really complications about this.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to mix too much what I do with YouTube. I look at YouTube as something fun for me. I don't look at it as money making. We don't make money.
Me neither. I'm not on YouTube. So yeah, I understand. As like, yeah, for me, Facebook and Instagram is a way to show my work. That's all. It's not where I get my money. It's just like, it's for fun too.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever.
But it was fun, and it's fun to see that there's a lot of, in your community, at least what I see is that there's a lot of really good people, and they're fun. Their comments are fun to read. I think it's great, to see all those comments going on there. I'm not used to that. Sorry, it's not usual for me, so I'm glad to see this,
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a community. Some people are gonna love you. Some people are gonna hate you.
And it's in real life too.
Some people are gonna
in real life too.
Some people are gonna appreciate what you do. Some people are not gonna appreciate. They're gonna disagree.
I wonder if it's a good thing to be appreciated by everyone. If you're appreciated by everyone, I think you have a problem with yourself.
You're right.
Don't you think it's weird to not be to be liked by everyone? Should be like, sounds weird too,
You're right. No, I think I always tell my friends, I go, I'm mean to you because I care about you. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The nice ones are
the
ones that laugh at your jokes and the not so funny jokes.
Yeah.
I think you're the best guy in the world. They're not really your friends. The ones that tell you, hey, you got to stop doing this, or the ones that make you cry and look at yourself, they're the ones that really care about you. And those are your real friends.
those are the honest. That's all. It's honesty. It's love. It's honesty. It's like, I don't, like, it's the principle of like, are you the one that say, you meet someone, let's meet together, and then I have like, I know that broke that thing between my teeth. Okay, it's the first time you meet me. Are you going to tell me that I have something in my teeth, between my teeth, or not?
Exactly.
See, I'm the kind of one, and I know the person's a totally stranger. I say, hey, by the way, you just have something between your teeth. I'm just telling you that's, like, I think I'm doing my best to help I'm doing my best to make people feel comfortable in life, so I'm happy, but I'm not going to change myself for that neither.
Exactly. No,
And
you're doing a great job.
Photography is the same thing. It's you cannot, you have to listen to what people ask you for, what your client asks you for, but you need to stay focused with your own style too, with what you want to show. And that's the thing about, I think, being a good photographer is capable of making the client happy and making yourself happy too. And this exchange, because it's communication. Photography is communication too. So
exactly.
Oh
This
my
was
God,
great.
2 hours and a half of English. Oh yeah.
You know what I said?
I'm gonna dream in English tonight. I'm sure of that.
I said this is an hour, and I wanted to keep it an hour, but the conversation was so great that I just, this was great to talk to you.
But fine. Last time you saw me just 1 hour. We spent 2 hours talking. Like, I knew that time. I was like, it's not gonna be only 1 hour. I'm sure of that.
I know.
But you're fun to talk to, and Amar was really great too. By the way, I really like that guy.
All right. Well, like I said, thank you so much, Tzara.
Well, thanks to you, Ryan. It's always great to have a talk with you. Thanks for inviting me. Really, I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, this was great, guys, and everybody in the chat. This was an amazing talk, and I had fun. 2.5 hours. All right, guys. Tzara, thank you again. Amar, thank you. Amar, come back, and everyone in the chat. We'll see you next week. Have a good day, Tzara. Sorry I took too much of your time.
You have no problem. Don't worry. Fun. I'm in vacation, as I said.
Check out Tzara's website in the description, and Tzara's Instagram. Go ahead and follow her. Check her out. This is what it's all about, the community. All right, guys.
Sorry. There's a guy that said the ones who call me an app, are my real friends. Totally agreeing, by the way, the drunk wedding photographer. I totally agree with you. My friends too. We're awful together.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I'm gonna have him on.
I just have to quit the studio, right?
Yeah, I'll end it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have the drunk wedding photographer on sometime next week. We're gonna talk about the sepia bride controversy. And all right, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Rock and roll. This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Tzara Maud. Stay cool. You guys in the chat, rock and roll.